I guess we're live. Yeah, see how long I got before I have to run off. Let's see who shows up. Got 21 watching. Yeah, got 9 likes already. Yeah. What's up? Nah, it's just something earlier. Let's see if those people do show up. Hey, Liberia, what's up? Meech, what's going on? Well, we're supposed to talk a little Pan Africanism if they want to talk about it. Oh, it's not me about letting it go. They won't let it go. Yerp, what's up? And see if they'll show up. What's up, Empress? Nah, just a little Pan African, just a little Pan African stuff. If they show up, they got a lot to say in the comment section. See if they show up. Don't think they will. Hey, Concrete Rose, what's going on? Yeah, well, I might as well start talking. Um, Pan Africanism is a very it was not even delicate, and it is mostly has been very underground for I've said the last 50 years for the most part. Very by small groups of people, and only since there's money going into the continent and they're starting to develop this ramping up now. Um, 15 years ago, hell, as much as 10 years ago, very little talk about it. And I know, even I was telling somebody that the Africans are starting to thump their chest. Rightfully so, man. It's their time. Their time is coming to shine. But a lot of people pretend like this stuff has been going on for a very long time. It's only been like, Chinese really just started developing parts of the continent just, I would say, not even last 10 years. You know, I mean, the main parts of it just the last 6 or 7 years, where money's really starting to flow into there. And there's always been this, um, there's always been the Back to Africa movement. I mean, hell, that goes all the way back, a couple hundred years when they started freeing slaves. But it really never got off the ground. It didn't even get off the ground with Liberia or Sierra Leone. Never really got off the ground. People are reluctant to leave. They still are. But people like, I really don't have any, I try not to have a big problem with the BAIO. Pan African folks, usually let people do what they do. And I was even sub to the guy and was fairly, I mean, you get the standard Negro talk, but for the most part, it's fairly harmless, man, until ADOS, until we start talking reparations, start talking about real money, and then all of a sudden people freaking lose their mind. You know, a place where you look down on, now you want to kiss their asses. Come on, because there's money, because they might develop. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, nobody thought that they would. Come on, man. Well, all of a sudden, Africa is this booming place where there's skies, where there's skyscrapers from one end to the next, and everybody's got, but the 90% of Africa don't have a running toilet. You don't have a running freaking toilet yet, and we're talking like, they're this Goliath that's shaking the world. They will be, but not yet. Well, you, Elias, bring your ass up here. 2030. You talking at me like I don't know nothing, man. Yeah, everybody says that after I say it. Everybody says it after I say it. Where'd you hear it from? Or did you calculate that out of your own brain? Pan Africanism does exist. Oh, you can't even act the street level uh, African American about Pan Africanism, and they won't have an answer. That doesn't mean anything. Nah, you ain't hear from Dr. Claude, man. Give me that shit. If you heard it from Dr. Claude, guess where Dr. Claude heard it from? Because I was the only one saying it back in back in 2006. I was the only one saying it, so I know that it wasn't Dr. Claude. I was the only one saying it. Okay, I was the only one saying it, and I was the only one that believed in it and knew it because I knew what would happen. Yeah, but you act like you act like you came up with it on your own. You listen to Dr. Claude. I mean, Doctor, like you got it from someplace else. Come on, man. And well, yeah. Why would they? It's not their part of their history. They know about colonialism because that is part of their history. Well, most black folks don't really know about the slave trade per se. The real history of it. Most black folks don't know about the uh, colonial history of the continent for the most part. They know bits and pieces, but it's not because it's not their history. You didn't get that, Dr. Cloud. You weren't supposed to get it, Mac Red. Yeah, right, Elias. I'm in the community. I know the dude. He was not that old. Okay, appreciate it, Mac Red. Selling slaves all over the world. Slaves get sold all over the world, even amongst the Native Americans. It's not anything new. Jay Strokes, what's up? Actually, Pan African goes well back to the 1850s. Actually, Pan African goes back really to the American Colonial Society back in 1790. If you really want to go get accurate about it, Liberia has been around since 1798 or something like that. Oh well, they're gonna profit off of slave dungeons because it's tourism. Okay, if you don't want to profit about slave dungeons, then don't go visit. It's a historical site. Is what it is. If you don't want to, you don't want to. If you don't want to invest in visiting there, then they won't have it. They only have it because you invest in it. It was things take time and things have to have a reason to work. Well, the thing is, it wasn't important then. As things follow money. As Africans become more global, then they'll actually be more inclusive about being Pan Africanists. They're not global yet. They're just starting to be. Yeah, well, they taught you. Oh, they did. They taught you that in school. Okay. What country are you from, Elias? I'm sure they don't want. I'm sure it's for tourism sakes. They don't want that out. Nah. What country is that from? Where they teach your children that? Well, they were also Booker T and Garvey and all them were obviously part of the bourgeoisie. Whole parts of Africa. That doesn't no. Well, you were educated in whole parts of Africa, Elias. Don't start sidestepping now. Africa has 54 countries. Which country were you educated in? You weren't educated in all of them. Yeah, well, they care now because they got colonized. Because the white folks didn't stop with us; it came after them too. That's why they care. He has a Uganda flag. Psst. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, Louis, what's up? Ah, Chewy White. What do you think, Chewy White? Will there ever be a point? Yeah, when the black class no longer exists, it's called assimilation. Wait about I would say wait about 2 generations. It's called assimilation. Look it up. In fact, read the Monahan report. It has nothing to do with it, man. Stop it, Elias money. It had nothing to do with it. Europeans respect you less than they respect black folks in America. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, respect, EG. Because according to European, you're all black. Ask the black folks in South Africa. Come on, y'all. Y'all had all this stuff to say in the comment section. Now I'm here. Yeah, well, it breaks up the day. I don't usually like doing them. Erwin Martinez, unless you're African or Pan African. You know, it says Pan Africanism. Are you a Pan Africanist? How do they treat them? They treat them like refugees. Most of the time, they they they're passing them on to the next spot. They treat all refugees get. They used to treat the Eastern Europeans the same way. Not that big a deal. They want Europe want actually wants them there. Believe it or not. Okay, well, I'm sure they should have. They have. I'm sure they have oral history because when I was on the continent, they told me plenty about their oral history. Well, Spain wouldn't because Spain got invaded by Africans. They were actually the Moors in the African states actually came up and conquered them, so they wouldn't have any much love for Africa. Well, Chicago, right? We've been talking about that for years. You guys don't pay attention when I actually talk. Why do you think Europe wants refugees? What up, Craig? Uh, Craig, you got to send me your email because Artisan wants to get together with you. Why you Chicago, right? Why do you think Europe wants refugees? I actually put videos up about it. How deep did they go into what, Nana? Population rates, demographics. They're not having enough babies. Same reason you're stealing children here. All right, dude. Chewy, knock it off. Well, it's not a labor, not just a labor class. They don't have a, they need a certain amount of citizens to actually populate their socialize to actually populate and populate their country. It's not just a labor class. In fact, if they could, they would actually take the as many educated Africans as they could. In fact, they do. And the majority of Africans that are educated, they take them first. They're all over Europe. Basically, Kirky can tell you they're educated Africans are all over Europe. They would take them first. Okay, we have to respect the continent. Okay, but that's not what this is about, Martinez. Europe has a negative population, and they do come down to the continent for need to actually knock up the Beckys and carry the babies back. They are using them to seed the white women to have babies. Well, that's the problem that the Africans have to solve. Well, Erwin doesn't know what's going on if he came up with him in it with that comment. Moorish rule all over again. I don't know. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. There aren't enough Moors left. Yes, they do go to Kenya to get pregnant. They also go to Gambia to get pregnant, and they return home because half the men in Europe are infertile. Although I did a video on that. Well, why is it pointless, John Doe? You don't even know the half of it, bruh. You don't even know the half of it, but that's for another day. Not even gonna dive into that. Your fist, okay, okay. You're being facetious, okay. Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, they get there anywhere they can. I mean, they're not any different from immigrants that come to the United States. In fact, a lot of Africans are actually coming to getting flying into Mexico, getting into Mexico or Latin America and trying to get across the border here. It's easier for them to blend in here than it is in Europe. It's true. The only way you can kill it is with the truth. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We should. We've been trying to get the French off. Well, finally, the French off of Haiti's neck for years. Finally, what the French are going down. So eventually, that's probably going to take care of itself. It's possibly, possibly Mac Red. It's a little bit more. Well, it's not complicated. It's a little different than that. They come here for money partly. They also come here because um, I also come here because they want a more comfortable life in the first world. That's a story for another day, Nuke. But I'll let you go figure that out. Oh yeah, few mixed baby. Yeah, he came here. Yeah. Well, yeah, he got his way in. Yeah, that's common. I mean, they have so many videos. There's two main places where Europeans go to actually get pumped up with babies. One is Kenya, and Mombasa. The other one is Gambia, where it's recorded. In fact, it's sex tourism for white women. You a chump. At least you spelled chump right. You a chump. At least you spelled it right. But you divided for the race to prosper. Uh, Basically, hey Rice, what's going on? Yeah, just to get her pregnant, and he won't have to pay. Yep. Oh yeah, right. Gambia complaining government should prevent. Really? Give me a break. Um, well, it depends on how far along Africa develops. Then it'll actually become more of a reason to actually go. It has less to do with the slave mentality. It has something to do with people not wanting to move from where they're at. That's normal. That's anybody. Yeah, well, yeah, that's programming. Yeah, well, dude, doesn't matter whether you're down for the swirl. Don't matter. You have nothing to do with it, man. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Actually, admixture is normal. You've been taught that it's abnormal. Okay, cool. I'll actually forward it to. I'll actually forward it to Artisan. So he just asked about you a couple days ago. No, they shouldn't be. No, they shouldn't be. Let me go ahead and put this into the section. It can take about 30 minutes. I don't have all day. It shouldn't be Chicago writer, but you should already know that. If they should be, they would be. But there's obvious reasons why they aren't. Development is more than just resources. That should be obvious. If that was the case, Japan would have never rose to the heights where it was. Oh man, we ain't gonna start that. Here you guys coming out of the woodwork. Um. Oh, well, no, that's not true. If that was the case, it wouldn't be interracial rate wouldn't be um, marry-out rate in Great Britain wouldn't be 50%. It doesn't matter. They'll do what they need to do to survive. Mixed people will be the new white people, perhaps. We'll see. There won't be enough black people for it to count anyway. Well, that is part of being industrialized. That's the risk that you take. Then what, can nothing be done? Yeah, most black people don't want anything to be done. If they did, they'd actually do something, right? I don't know why you. Most black people don't want. Most black people want to mix. That's normal. So what are you gonna do? There's no black women don't have a idea of a black ethno state. Black women don't really want a black ethno state. What they want is to have the same position as white women. That's what they want. They don't want a black ethno state. Don't get it twisted. Xenophobia. It's what has normally gone on. It's a class struggle in South Africa, and now that there's new players on it, it's still a class struggle. And white folks, well, the white folks in South Africa don't have any place to go because Europe won't accept them back for the most part. The only place they really accept Afrikaners back are Russia. Nobody wants to go to Russia. No, they don't want black ethno state, black house, because they want equality with the white woman. That's what they want. And Australia. Well, okay, you guys are all over the place. Uh, Pan African. Well, you don't know enough about Pan Africanism. You wouldn't mind. You wouldn't mind, or that would be nice. It's not the same thing as I want a black ethno state. Uh, Not really, because they don't have. South Africa does not have enough employment for its own people, and that's the issue. Well, of course they live it with black men. Who else can they complain to? I did a whole series about the myth of white womanhood. Ray Knight, if you say that one more time, dude, you're gonna get bounced. All right? Say it one more time, you're gonna get bounced. You have a channel. Talk about Papua New Guinea. We've been talking about Papua New Guinea for the last 30 years. It is not new. Okay, it's not new. Uh, Basically, in Papua New Guinea, they've been encroaching on those people for the last 30 years. It's not new. It's not the latest thing. They're basically trying to bring down the fertility rate of the Africans. Uh they can try AL. Well, your return, yeah, of course. Ghana loves uh, black tourism and has for a long time, so they're going to play it. I have no problem with them playing it up. If black women didn't like struggle love, then they would actually raise your boys to be dominant, and they haven't. I did a whole series on that, Charles. A whole series on that. Women didn't like it. Because they're bringing in money. They that's what they do. That's part of their tradition. They don't have the same beefs with other folks as we do. About the U.S. paying. I said that I had talked about them paying restitution uh, to the continent, but the thing is that's more of an inclusive thing. We got to pay the restitution to the folks here first before you do anything else. Before it even gets off the ground. You can jump in anytime, Nana.
BGS,
Yes, sir.
can we talk about reparations for just a second, please?
Go ahead.
Um, there's a funny thing going on in the UK right now.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know the way you lot started reparations, yeah?
Yeah.
The the Jamaicans have got onto it, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
They are on it hard, but the problem is
Mm-hmm.
they will not support you lot. They want the British to give them reparations without supporting you lot. And I am talking to them. I'm like, hang on. What do you mean you guys want reparations, but you not support the guys who came up with it first? That makes no sense.
That sounds like Jamaicans.
And then some
It sounds like Jamaicans. I'm gonna be
and,
honest with you.
and then there is, oh God help me, bro. Kendra D, if
Uh-huh.
you are listening, I want to say thank you. Who- That video that Beach just posted, I send it to all the black women that I know. They hate me right now, but thank you still.
She might not be listening. Well, it's kind of
Well,
early, so.
even if she hears it,
Hmm.
I can't say it because I'll cause a tribal war.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, you're in the UK, right?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
say it
oh yeah.
because the ones that the one when you actually look into it, the ones who actually left
Hmm.
and joined with the whites,
Yeah.
they they fucked us all pretty much. Certain kings got killed,
Hmm.
and other people were put in place of them,
Hmm.
and certain daughters refused to marry the other tribes for peace
Hmm.
and marry the white guys and caused an entire war.
Hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
she's pretty much right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When once we got that book, Daughters of the Trade, out, where that Dutch woman was basically going through the whole history. A lot of that stuff got shut down. A lot of those women actually left YouTube because they couldn't refute the history because it's the history. You know.
But I
And
thought
like,
they love history.
no, they don't. They love.
Come on,
They
come on,
love
BTS.
they
Every,
love to be they love suffering. No, they keep a lot of that stuff hidden.
like every day I hear black women goes, "Oh, we're the most loyal, we're the most this." I'm like, hang on,
Yeah.
where?
That is propaganda that they sell to their children.
Can I squeeze in here real quick?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So about the loyalty, for argument's sake, let's say that is true. Black women were the most loyal, but I think after a century and a half of quote unquote being free, I don't think that's the case anymore because I think they covered the white woman's position so much now. You know, I go on certain women's social media web pages and they really, really want that position.
Well,
And
let's put it this way. Okay, let's go for argument's sake and history's sake. That's not true. That's what we're trying to tell you. So we kill that
in
argument.
in history's sake, are we going back to the white man? Or are we going back to the Arab man?
Mm, we can just go back to the white man, going back to the 15th century.
Because
Mm,
I would love to go back to the Arab man as well.
Now, well, the trade is the trade, man, and basically what people think, the Africans can tell you they're not one people. Okay, that's the whole thing. And I know Pan African kind of mushes them all together, and we think that
Yeah.
there's just one black land where all these people just came from, and they're all one people. They're not all one
Hmm.
people. Just like Europe's not all one tribe of white people. They're not.
Hmm. The tribes within Europe, even though they don't like to call themselves tribes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they go. You look at their history. Germany alone had what 100 tribes. Heard 100 German tribes that they formed Germany from. Just Germany alone. And we're not even
yeah.
talking about Eastern Europe.
Greetings, BGS.
Greetings.
Hi, panel.
Yeah.
I
Speak up
just
a
want
bit.
to. Oh, sorry. I just want to throw a little something about the Arabs. I know
Hmm.
people that are not in Africa. You guys, especially in the states, you have a, how will I say, a more holistic view about
Yeah. Yeah.
other races because all of them are, everybody is in America. America is literally a melting pot. But in Africa, depending on which part, you
Hmm.
only know one group of people. For instance, East Africans know a little bit more about Indians because they had a bunch of them.
Hmm.
For instance, West Africa now, it depends on which country. In Nigeria, we did have a lot of Lebanese refugees. Now they're just part of the society,
Hmm.
and okay, imagine you're the only Lebanese guy. You started, selling shawarma. Now, before you made it big, you know. And also, the thing with Arabs in Africa is Arabs are just like Latinos. They are not one race. Because
Right.
I remember I have buddies that are. He's clearly a white guy, but no, his mother is American. No, this guy's mother is, I don't know, black. This guy's mother is Asian. So they are of all races. And for
Hmm.
them it's always like it's been like, if your father is Arab, you're Arab regardless of what you look like.
Hmm.
So when most of the time, people that are outside of Africa say, oh, Arabs this and that. Okay, well, Sudanese
Hmm.
are Arabs. You
Hmm.
have, of course, the Saudis and whatnot. And also in Nigeria, we have people that if you see them, you can't differentiate them from the other northern Nigerians because they just look like light skinned niggas, but they're Arabs too, you know.
Yeah.
So those ones, they're just black people, and they don't typically think like, for example,
Mm,
your run-of-the-mill Arabs, like those in the Middle East, who even the other Arabs like in Iraq and other places, they see them as like how maybe in America, you see like people from the down south are looked down by those up north. That's how
Mm,
they see the people, the Arabs in the Middle East, just sand niggas with money
yeah.
that are not cultured. The African Arabs look down on the Middle Easterners, and the other like Iraq and other places, they look down on them, but the motherfuckers now have money. So what could
Yeah.
anyone do?
wait, hang on for a sec. Did you say
Yeah.
that the African Arabs look down on the Middle Eastern Arabs?
Yeah, because when did they become something apart from camel herders? Is it not just because when like
Oh,
maybe the 70s and that
No,
when they discovered oil?
you're talking about the Bedouins. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's
no.
what they even call them, Bedouins.
The
Okay,
Bedouins
now, yeah,
Bedouins are the sheep herders or the
yeah.
nomads. Yeah.
Exactly. So now you just imagine, Jim Bob down in Texas, struck gold from maybe hunting crocodiles. Now he's an oil tycoon, but he's still, a hick with money. So,
I don't know about that because the Arabs that I've met from the Middle East, they will still
well,
look
I
at.
grew up there, so and I speak the language, and that was the only place that I actually knew before we moved back to Africa. So I clearly
Maybe.
see how even my teachers who are from, like, let's say Egypt and Syria and other places,
Uh huh.
maybe the Saudi kid will come being rude and slapping his driver for being late. They will just look at them and shake their head. These fucking Bedouins. But what could you do?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
like Europeans looking down on Americans, calling Americans cowboys and whatever. But
Mm.
America has the biggest stick, so what could anyone say?
Yeah, well, yeah, and basically, the Americans look down on the Europeans, after World War II.
Yeah, they see the Europeans as wussies, and the Europeans sees Americans as cowboys. Especially here in Europe, it's kind of like how Africans and Black Americans, when you
Mm,
want to look cool, you pretend to be Black American, but when you're
mm,
trying to pretend you have culture, you say, no, 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 that's them. Europeans do the same shit, you know? They will hide
Mm.
behind the atrocities of America. Yeah, white is might, white is right, but they're quick to throw Americans under the bus and say, no, 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 we have culture. We're not like these cowboys. This,
Wow.
everybody does that kind of bullshit.
oh yeah.
I really, could I squeeze in here, 3GS. I really want to agree with him on the holistic view of Black Americans, because being Haitian descent, you see that when it comes to racism or white supremacy or any of that, the first people I like to listen to are Black Americans before anybody else. Because I think Black Americans turned white supremacy into like a real topic to study more than anybody else on the planet. And
Hmm.
Yep.
so it's become a science for y'all. And I still think y'all don't get it, but I think y'all get it better than anybody else. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
So
because it has been a science,
yeah.
the science of race or the science of black and white. Well, white was actually literally invented in the United States.
Yep.
Hmm.
So race as a concept was actually invented in the United States.
Yeah.
So
And
so
and
it,
from
so it would be well, most studied.
Yeah,
and
and
for me, that's the
can I add
important part.
something also?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Like when we moved back home, I think like mid '90s, and I just went to university back then. So among Gen X's, at least I can talk about mine because unfortunately I'm allergic to millennials, but whatever. So among the coolest thing is was how
Don't be
much,
allergic. I'm a millennial.
dude. I teach them here. I mentor them. I have them that I'm their guardian. I've been through hell. I know. Trust me. You may be an exception. So like I was saying, so for instance, back home now, like during the university days for most of us Gen X's in Africa,
Hmm.
among the coolest thing is what more about Edo's history do you know? Because it's a cool thing to throw out, MLK, Malcolm X. We know what the hell being black is by looking at black Americans. So like that's what I like to say when we have conversations that the head of the black race is black America. Nigeria being we are Negro stand, we're the largest group of blacks on the planet. Yeah, unfortunately, for the black race, it's us that are the majority. So why did I say unfortunately? Because 200 million people, over 400 different tribes, but maybe less than five who are a nuisance to the whole country. So I know our shortcomings. Like what's happening in South Africa, similar thing is happening in Asia. If anybody looks at Malaysia, particular people in Nigeria, particular tribes, I'm not going to say the name so they won't be in BJS's comments, pretending that we don't know what's happening.
Hmm.
For
Us?
them, drug dealing is just their hustle.
Just hustle, yeah.
And here in Hungary, the same thing. I've seen countless number of women who she's now a single mama because the dude that she's with got busted. You know, he's in jail now or got deported. You know, they run countless number of things. So
419.
everything, you know, you've had people like okay, like since I'm Northern Nigerian, I mean, people mostly don't see us in the West. You know, Northern and typically that you find in Asia, Middle East. We don't
Mm,
like the cold, and we think white people are, white people. So, and for most
mm,
of our parents, they think I can't send my kid out there, come back all tatted up, and being some SJW. No, hell no. So they
mm,
rather pay $40,000, $20,000, send you to Dubai to study in maybe a campus of the Western University, then send you to Europe, which you can pay like what $2,000 to $3,000 for the
mm,
same thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just among the few actually, because
yeah.
here even a population of, let's say, if you take 90% of Nigerians in Hungary, Northerners are less than 10. Even though we're more diverse, since out of 36
Americans are the
states,
head
19
of
are
the
in the
black
north.
race. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. I must have lost connection for a minute. But I agreed with you 100 that Black Americans are the head of the Black race, and I think some of the apprehension towards that comes from a place of jealousy from both Caribbeans, me being a child of Caribbeans, and from continental Africans, because I think we
Yeah,
want so bad for it to be us, right? And so to think that, because I think some of us, we've been indoctrinated by Western culture, so we're like, those people, Black Americans, the heads? No, 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 no. And when I
yeah.
talk to
Eh,
some of my relatives, that's what it's
eh,
about, really.
To be honest,
Hmm.
I think
eh.
it's naivete because many people think that Black Americans have it easy. And I just always try to compare and contrast what's happening in Nigeria, especially the northern part. It's the exact same shit that's happening to northern Nigerians that's happening to Black Americans. Whatever bad
Mm,
happens is the northern Nigerians, you're the Boko Haram, you guys are lazy, blah, 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 But nobody, okay, everybody, just look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What the fuck happened there? So if
true.
whites can do that to Asians that they're sort of cousins or their buddies, what the hell do you think they're doing to the blacks that are under their feet?
Mm,
You
Yep.
know? So
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
it's just
That's true.
Kurt,
it's just naivete because if black Americans have had it that much easy, the
Mhm.
only people that should be right up there with whites, it should be black Americans, not the Jews, not anybody else, because they're
That's
the ones
true.
that built everything, you know.
but Kurt,
I see
Mm,
it
Kurt,
all over the time here, like people going around, like when people say, "Oh, you're American," Africans will say, "No, I'm not. I'm African." If it's something good, the niggas gonna say,
mm.
"Yeah, I just write," that wave.
Have you
but
considered that it's all that, because I agree with you on the naivete part, and I think that plays a factor in our how trusting we might be of white people compared to Black Americans,
It-
and
It's,
some of
it,
the
it's called what? It's called socialization. It's called brainwashing. What kind of
true.
school did you
True.
go
That's
to?
true.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
And
true.
that
there's something also that we Africans for always maybe don't ask ourselves this. Yeah, maybe if you're thinking, you think, wait, every time I see a foreigner like from the West, I don't see the black one. And you're thinking it's because the black one doesn't want to come here because maybe he thinks we have malaria and all of that. Do you think whites are gonna start opening like the embassies, the corporation just ship out black Americans? Hell no. They know what's gonna happen when those guys come. They're not gonna go back. Africans are gonna get the intel on how whites really are. So it's better for them to just send racists and SJWs and all type of crazy whites,
I
to Africa.
100% agree with that.
But
plus the
Africans that are naive will think, black Americans just have it made because maybe
it's
you might have come to Europe and you see maybe how other non-Europeans are riding the welfare, having the time of their life. They think the same thing in America. America doesn't have the
wait,
same welfare system as Europe.
wait, hang on. It, we can't really call it naivety if they're being told that money grows on trees here. Come on.
Mm,
Yeah, that's the thing.
Uh,
Yeah, many
Agreed.
think in the West, money just falls off. And to be honest, it was a cultural shock for me too, even though I grew up abroad. I never knew in the West people have to work like dogs like this.
mm,
I used
BGS,
to think
my
that,
aunt,
Yeah.
because from the propaganda, you think that maybe people work 5, 6 hours, they are swinging on the hammock, reading a novel,
mm,
they get their
mm,
paycheck and all of that. But here, people are working 2 to 3 shifts. Countless number of women here. There was a lawyer that I knew. She
mm,
literally broke down one day. I have
mm.
the house, I have the money, I have the car, but I'm not happy. I'm miserable. She wants a man
Wow.
and all of that shit.
hmm.
But don't forget the
Yeah.
same one. I just happened to
Oh,
because
okay.
sometimes I can't help trolling. So I was just talking random shit. I said, well, I actually have yellow fever. She lost it. So for her, if black people are gonna date anybody, it should be whites. Fuck Asians. So apparently there's this culture, I don't know, feminist war or something like that going on between Asians and white women. So
Well,
it's the same
No.
thing that white women were
well,
enjoying,
well,
tormenting sisters, and
because
now it's happening to them.
white men like starting to like Asians because they're more compliant.
Not
Yep.
only white men, even other men.
Yeah,
Because
now
even black people are thinking, well, if I told my parents I'm going to bring a white girl, oh, she's going to take your kids. She's probably going to fuck the whole town, going to be walking around naked. If you say
no,
Asian, they're going to relax. Oh, the Asians are cool. They're not
yeah,
ratchet.
yeah, they're considered more conservative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we all grew up watching Asian movies, and maybe few of our people used to go there for trade and whatever.
For the
And
most part, Asian women are more compliant and conservative.
yeah,
For the
For
most
now,
part.
PGS. For now. For now.
Well, until it would take a lot of socialization to actually break them out of it. We're talking
Yep.
Am
about
I the
thousands of
only
years.
one that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're the
No, I
only
was
one that
saying,
what?
am I the only one that sees them as cold and calculated, almost soulless?
Of course.
Well,
Like
Yeah.
they're
to
not the only
hypergamy,
one. They
to
are.
have that level of hypergamy, you gotta be to a certain extent. Like it gotta be all about the numbers. Like okay, he's all right
It,
looking. I'll go with it. I can't do it.
to,
I
to,
don't
I
know.
think
to, to,
Asians
to,
are more
to,
robotic about it.
to us, we think that same thing about the men. To us, it's soulless, but the thing is, that's normal to them.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Different people.
PGS.
Yes, sir.
PJ. There was this Asian woman that works in my job,
Mm-hmm.
and when I first came here, yeah, she takes really good care of me. If I want anything, I need anything,
Mm-hmm.
she makes sure I'm good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this woman, when it comes to other Asian women,
Mm-hmm.
just the looks and the way she moves around them, you would think that the devil himself, was this
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like she moves in such a way that even I am shocked. I thought
Mm-hmm.
black women were good, but god damn it, bro, this
Well,
woman
Mm.
is
people
so
forget
calculated.
Asians, they have hierarchy in their
They do.
societies, you know,
They do have
and
hierarchy.
they're
Yep.
very serious about that. Well, when it comes to
When you come to
Nigerians,
this
I
job,
can say I have a lot of respect for Yoruba people because they're like that. Because in the Yoruba culture, regardless of who the hell you are, you know, okay, like look at us that come to BJC's panel, you know, if a typical, if there are a lot of Yoruba guys here, they're gonna come pay their respects. Even if one of them is a billionaire, he'll shut the fuck up. An elder is here is talking, you behave yourself. In
Mm-hmm.
Asians, they have even like okay, millennials will not address us Gen X's, with there's how will I say a suffix, the different age brackets and stuff like that. In
Mm-hmm.
Africa, for most whites like that, but Asians they're more cold when it comes to that. They don't tolerate bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
and I think maybe it's among the things that we could learn from them. BJs, I wanted to ask your opinion about something.
Go ahead.
Okay, like now, whether anybody likes it or not, China is the new, is the new pimp on the block. So
Yeah,
I
they
was
are.
thinking, shouldn't it be a smart thing for China to like use the Chinese diaspora as those that they'll start seeding on Africa? At least those ones are more used to
Like
people of other cultures.
they already haven't.
No, I'm saying because
You-
mostly like they send the ones that are from the mainland, and those ones are ratchet and closed off. So they come with their own bullshit mentalities. For
Uh-huh.
example, like you pick hood niggas that have never interacted with people of other cultures instead of taking people from the suburbs that went to school with everybody. Then they'll come and they'll be acting ratchet towards the locals the way they're doing back home, and then there's always friction.
So why would they send their best people?
No, I mean not even like the richest, even if it's among the poorer ones among their diaspora who live in a place that's multicultural. At least they're more
And
socialized.
how are you going to convince them to come?
Yeah,
Yep.
money.
Yeah, it's always the
They're in
bottom.
they're in the diaspora, right? They're not
Mm,
controlled by the Chinese government. They can't just tell them, "I'm going to
yeah,
send you to the continent." No, they can't tell them that. Why would the Chinese merchant that's set up in Jamaica or United States come to the continent? I mean, I'm sure they have a few, but
mhm.
I'm sure why would they come?
Yeah, because I'm kind of feeling a little bit worried for them because if they try some of their bullshit in Nigeria, we have zero chill actually.
Basically, eventually just like anything else, they're going to have to learn how to deal with black folks on the continent.
Yeah, I mean they are learning. Okay, like there's a case that happened a while back. One of
Uh-huh.
the kings he gave a title to one of the Chinese guys, and people lost their minds.
Yeah,
The,
of course.
unfortunately, it's because they're seeing it from the outside.
Yeah.
The easiest way, like I was telling some Nigerians, look, don't be pissed off with our non-African black cousins because they're seeing it because they know Asians more than we do. It's like, for example, in northern Nigeria, where we have a lot of Lebanese,
Hmm.
somebody telling you that, oh, they gave a Lebanese, I don't know, a title somewhere else, and you're gonna say, oh, Lebanese are assholes because you know. So the non-African blacks, they know Asians, we don't. So we should
Hmm.
listen to them and then maybe try to explain things to them
I will
because it
have to.
wasn't anything fanciful that
Well,
they gave him.
you guys learn the Chinese. Well, you guys will learn soon enough. You're not gonna believe it if you find out for yourself anyway.
Yeah, we're watching from social media
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they're doing other places.
You can watch on social media, but you're interacting with them. You guys learn really quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
I
but
do
I
Just
think
have
a
listen to my
few of them
Chinese.
that came that were there long enough, they're probably reining in the others, letting them know, it's not like East Africa where them niggas are soft. Yeah, they're gonna
Yeah, well,
they're gonna burn shit down.
no, East African has burnt a few things down already, so it's not.
Yeah,
Yep.
Basically, what it is that this is the way the Chinese treat people. Okay, they have a
yeah.
different mindset of how they treat people. Okay,
Yeah, they are very crude, and at
they're
least
very
I can understand why them, the Koreans and Japanese, all of them, they kind of don't get along because all of them have a similar mindset.
yeah, they have a
They
similar
have
mindset. Yeah,
they're all very tribal, and everybody wants to be, the
yeah,
how
they
will I
try
say
to
it, the
they try
only
they,
yellow guy on top.
they try to send the ones that are a little bit more how can I softer, okay, because they've had issues. But
Yep.
but still, if you go to China and see how Chinese bosses treat other Chinese, then you
Yeah,
would get
I
pissed
see.
off.
I follow some of those guys that are in
Yeah,
Asia, so it's
The Africans aren't used to that. Okay, they're not used to
exactly.
that kind of treatment, and so they will rebel. So basically, and they found that out. So
Yeah.
they've and this when did this happen? This happened in I think it's 2007 or 2008, something like that, where I think it was a Chinese boss, a Chinese company got ran out of the country
Yeah.
because of the way they're treating workers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
so basically, this ain't nothing new. But the thing is that at the end of the day, um, they're gonna have the Chinese and the continent's gonna have to learn how to work together because this is too much money involved. And your leader and your leaders are gonna bring them in. So it is what it is. So you
Yep.
might
To
get customers.
BGS and the
Hey, what's
African
up,
brother,
BGS?
have y'all
Hey,
considered have y'all considered that also what one of the things too is that at least with white people, at the very least, you could throw their religion back in their face and you could
mm,
throw morality in their face. Even if they don't fully get into it, but you could
Yeah.
throw that in their face. I don't think you could do that with Asians because what religion are you throwing in their face? What sense of
Oh
morality
well,
are you throwing in their face?
believe it or not,
You know?
I saw there was some Asian guy. He said he's pulpit pimp hustling too.
mm.
Some Chinese guy is a pastor. I don't know whether it's in South Africa, in some African country.
Wow.
There are
Well,
some.
they
And
know niggas like to see someone light skinned, and so
well, but China is very pragmatic, and basically,
yeah,
if you think about the China, the Chinese really did not want to develop the continent. They really didn't.
Nope.
yeah,
They wanted to
They were
sign
forced to.
contracts. Yeah, with the thing with Gaddafi, they were forced to. They
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
had to.
Because now, like, there's so many projects like that's happening all over Africa. Chinese money or an African talent. So people actually now don't really give a shit about whites. Anyway, people have been tired of them. It's just maybe some of the naive millennials back home that are still believing the hype, but all of the older generation, you're tired of seeing the wars all over from the continent, from other parts of the world, and we clearly see the writing on the wall. Because I
Yeah, well,
recall in the early
Huh?
2000s that I was in
basically,
uni.
everybody sees the writing on the wall because
Yeah,
it's obvious. You look at the demographics and all that kind of stuff. Everybody sees the writing on the wall. It's not even, when I was saying it, I could tell you nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. Everybody thought I was an idiot. I was high on something. Africa wouldn't be developed for another 1,000 years. I've heard that from some people on the continent. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Now everybody sees the writing on the wall.
Yep.
Now, to be fair, BGS, you did sound crazy at that time.
Say
well,
what? Say what?
To be fair, you did sound crazy at that time. Nobody could see it.
well,
Nobody saw that coming.
the only thing I
Apart
will
from
say
you.
about this is I'm shocked BGS is even here because if he wants
Yeah.
he rolls into any African country, he's gonna be either a presidential advisor or something like that, chilling, enjoying his 67 digit income, not
Huh?
wasting time having headache with some dumb niggas that just don't want to read. I'm really in
Yep.
shock. I don't know. Sometimes I get really heated when I see these idiot millennials talking the dumb shit that they're doing, and the one that even flows me, those that are older.
Yeah.
Why the hell don't you look up what he's saying? You know, I'm
Mm.
really shocked that you even bother to give this much game. Because
Yeah,
if it's back home, how it works is that people in our generation is a privilege for us that people of BJ's generation will call one of us, come sit with us, come eat with us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you get some game, then you go back and you pop in your shoulder. Oh, I was with the old school. This is what I learned. And us also, we pick among the millennials who is it that has some sense, which is rare among them, and give him some game too. And they also do the same thing with the Z's. So even if it's a bar or club or whatever, there's the elders corner. You don't fucking go there and misbehave. You conduct yourself properly. So to
Yeah.
see how young people now, they have the audacity to disrespect someone not even one step older than them, two steps up, it's really giving me a
Yeah,
headache.
yeah, yeah. Because in what was it? You actually can go. I might, if I can find it. I actually think I played it. It's on my BGS for Reborn channel. I actually played a 2003 video of Teresa Whelan, which was part of the Air Force DoD, right? And she was talking about Africa as ungoverned space. In other words, AFRICOM was coming in. They were actually going to bring Africa to heal and actually globalize the continent. And that that was the plan. That was the plan from I think it was 1996 to like 2004. But the thing is, what happened was is that the Middle East wars got out of hand and got too expensive, and then that's when that's when what China saw as opportunity and it started moving in. They started moving in and started making deals. And and then what really shocked the Europeans was when I think it was 2006 when in Lisbon when 52 African countries just walked out of the I think it was the GATT, it was the world, it was the WTO. I think it was the Lisbon round where they were actually trying to do Europe was trying to do deals or certain trade agreements with the African countries, and African countries didn't like it, and they walked out, and that shocked the hell out of Europe. I mean, shocked the hell. I said, "What the fuck are these niggas doing, walking out on us?" And
Right
said,
now,
"Oh,
Why were
BJ's,
they shocked?
here
yeah,
you have
huh,
how
can I
dare
jump
you?
in a bit? Right now, BJ's, I was just scrolling through what's happening back home on Twitter.
uh
America is literally throwing money or this project. I'm just shaking my head laughing. I remember what you said. Now these fuckers are gonna rush to try and develop Africa
oh yeah,
now that they see that they're losing
yeah,
because they already lost, in southern and eastern Africa. So now they're trying to do something in West Africa.
yeah,
But niggas are smart now. Whoever's bringing the bacon, bring it. People don't care.
yeah,
But it's not
I
gonna
gotta
save
agree.
them
I gotta agree
because
with the
now
Afro.
more and more people
Go
are
ahead. I'm
going
sorry.
to Asia for business and whatever. So it's
yeah.
easier to just get the Asians without having them telling you how to, I don't know,
Well,
run your society and all of
you
that.
know what? With our group, man, we were such a small group, man. That even though we were doing the research and even though we were telling you guys the truth, you guys had to accept it, okay?
Yep.
And thank God you guys accepted it and said, you know, wait a minute, these brothers are saying something over here.
Mm.
Even the leaders of the country, of the African countries, said, wait a minute, okay, the Chinese are telling us one thing, the Europeans are telling another, but these brothers are actually pointing out something we haven't considered. You guys actually listen, so that kind of bothered the Chinese because trust and believe the Chinese did not want to develop you guys. You guys had to put your foot down and demand that shit. And you guys did. So I have to give you guys credit. Y'all actually said, wait a minute, you're not gonna come in and strip our resources and we get nothing for it. Okay. We want because we told them, I said, if you guys gonna do a deal with the Chinese, make them do the same thing for you that America did for them. Basically, put you guys on the supply chain. In other words, not just giving you a road here or a building there. No, start them from scratch with factories and infrastructure. Okay, same thing that was done for you guys, do for them. And you guys demanded it, so I have to give you guys credit. You guys actually demanded that shit.
And also
That was a battle,
BGS
BGS, to get that.
sorry,
So what? What now?
That was a battle to even get that
Yeah.
with
Oh,
with the, with the with our
with the,
leaders, with our leaders.
oh, yeah, that's true.
The leaders were like, "Fuck it, let's come in."
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh hell no, we gonna fuck you lot up. We gonna kill your children as well." And then they were like, "I, calm down."
I think what
Hell
kind
no.
of helped out BGS is because of the recession that happened. A lot
Uh-huh.
of leaders realized, okay, there's not much money coming in like before that they would just loot.
Yeah.
So they have to do something. And the case, for example, in the case of Nigeria, we have a lot of industries that literally the whites and the idiot sellers that we had, they sabotage them. For example, like the steel industry in Nigeria and many others. Before, it was, I think, like the steel was established with the Russians back then, the USSR. So, and many other stuff. That was during that time. A lot of Nigerians, they came to Eastern Europe and Russia to study. Some of few stayed behind, and there are some of them that I meet here, some of the elders here.
Hmm.
So many now is just like this. China is helping them revive those ones and bring others, working. So
Yeah.
now they literally, it's the scam for many politicians is that, okay, I can't just steal money. I'm going to have to steal it through projects. So I have to execute projects and maybe raise the cost and pocket something. But at
Yeah.
least people are seeing,
Yeah.
the industry that was maybe, like during your time when you guys were growing up, you worked there and whatever before we were born and started being raised. Those are coming back. So many people now are seeing, oh shit, things are moving now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only avenue.
Yeah. So
That's
so
like we
I
have
was,
so many resources that have remained untapped from
yeah.
gold, from whatever. So
Yeah.
now people are coming in and they're putting people to work and bringing
You know,
technologies.
it's one thing to get the resources. Okay, it is what it is. The thing is, I want the continent to get something for it.
Yeah,
Yep.
In other words, um, they have purposely not developed the continent for so long, and I
yeah,
wanted and a lot of people screamed at me. Okay, why are you accepting the Chinese? Why are you working with the Chinese? I said they're the only game in town, so you have to work with them because this is the only shot. It really is.
Exactly.
exactly.
That's true.
So the
I'm
thing
not
is,
gonna lie.
you got to do the deal, huh? Go ahead, Nana.
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of them. I didn't understand that first.
Mm,
I had to listen
Oh
to you. I
well,
was like, hang on. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Now I couldn't understand it at first.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Trust and believe, man. I got a lot of stripes on my back, but the thing
I
is
think
that
I could, because like back home, I didn't remember there are some
yeah.
companies that are owned by foreigners and it's
Mm,
Africans that run everything. So it's
mm,
just a continuation of that. Somebody, Asian guy come, I don't know whether he sets up a noodle factory or the hell ever. It's the Africans that are gonna learn, work, and then start their own stuff locally.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yep.
So
In fact, there was in fact, there a long time ago, there was in I think it was in Nigeria. There was a video called System D where this dude actually went up the supply chain where he actually started importing generators,
yeah,
and then he imported motorcycles, and then he instead of importing the whole motorbike, I think it was 100 cc motorcycles, right? That
yeah,
Nigerians use. He said it just instead of shipping the whole motorcycle, ship parts. Ship the parts as we actually assemble it there. And then
Mm.
after they started assembling, they start making things, and so they start moving up the value chain, just like the Chinese did. And the thing is, um, it's a simple process. The Chinese actually perfected the process. The thing is that so I know it shouldn't be that big a deal actually teach it to somebody. Actually start a process someplace else. So because of what was going on, because of the competition between East and West, Chinese really had no choice but to do the same thing. They had to, otherwise they'd have lost everything they invested in. They'd have lost.
and even now
BG,
because of this whole trade war over thing, like
Mm.
in Nigeria, what they did like a currency swap or something. So now we can trade directly with China using each other's currencies,
Yeah,
and
Chinese actually were very resistant to that a couple of years ago, but now they're
yeah,
more open to it. Yeah.
and now also like what the current government is doing, they're restricting access to, to dollars for people for importing bullshit. So it's
Mm.
kind of forcing the companies to come and set up in Nigeria now. So many companies have been coming in. So companies that ran away before to Ghana and other places, they're coming back to Nigeria. 200 million people is not a joke.
Because now they see it's well because Europe is faltering and the United
Yeah,
States is stumbling. So
Yep.
now, basically, well now they see what everybody else is saying is that okay, this is for real. In other words, it's not just something that's going to fizzle out. This is actually for real. So now companies are willing to come back because now
and I
Europe is interested in it. Once the economic forum actually went down to South Africa, everybody knew it was a go.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a wrap.
It's a
Yeah.
go now.
uh,
And something you just said about the pounds, BGS, I remember because one British pound before was like almost 400 foreigns here, the local currency. I checked recently, it fell down to 350 and saying, shit, this thing is going down. I started telling my buddies that are in the UK, you niggas better start buying gold.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
England is done for.
I still I'm s- While I kind of understand Brexit from a hierarchy, why the higher ups would actually want to leave the European Union, but I don't know why they thought this was going to be easy. Because I mean, if they really wanted to leave, they should have left. They could have left like within a year if they wanted to. The thing is that it's almost 4 years and you still haven't left. So that it's not as easy as
Oh,
they thought.
But BGS,
oh, BGS.
he's the white man. They can do it.
The white man is like the Wizard of Oz behind that curtain.
Yep.
That's what he has you believe. They know that it's not that easy.
To be honest, BJS, I was
Oh,
thinking this is the worst time to be a white guy. I remember in the 80s and the 90s,
Mm.
white people just have to show up and the instant celebrities. Now,
Mm.
people are hiding their kids,
That's true.
clutching their pockets and, giving them the side eye. So they're
Mm.
literally feeling it, You walk into a
Yeah.
room, people don't even raise their head or give you that, oh my God, there's a chat in here. People like, don't give a fuck and are giving you, what's this idiot doing here? And,
Like,
and them, the inferiority complex is literally eating them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just saying that Africans are now popping their collar and thumping their chest.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
about time.
well, it's about time. I said they need to tone it down a bit. Okay, you ain't arrived yet, Negro. Okay.
Yeah, don't get checked like the
You ain't done
Arabs did.
shit. That's what,
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
Don't
think
get checked like the Arabs did.
yeah.
Is that actually true, DBS? They actually bragging and shit?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, they popping their collar and thumping their chest now, man, because they can see it now.
yeah, because
BGS.
now
I think I have to correct you.
everybody's mouth is, trying
BGS, I have to
to
correct you.
suck
They're
on
not
Mom
popping
Africa's
colors.
tit.
Say what? Say what? Who's that, Nana? What are you saying?
They're not popping colors. They're wearing the traditional clothes and dancing with it.
Okay, all right.
Doing the
What,
rain.
what were you saying, Kirky?
Yeah, I'm saying like now they can afford to pop their collars because almost everybody's mouth is gaping for Mama Africa's tit. So it's like what do they have to lose?
Yeah, yeah.
Africa was already
When I was
subjugated and
there in
subverted. So
2008, when I was there in 2008, you had your hand out. And now, 10, 11 years later, you popping you thumping your chest,
I
man.
almost forgot this thing also, BJs. I noticed like all of these, tragic mulattoes are running back to Africa now. All of these fuckers now are eager to, claim
Uh-oh.
their blackness. Next
Yeah.
thing you know,
Uh-oh.
they're on TV. They're the
Oh my
newscaster.
God!
Uh-oh.
There was one of them that I didn't even know the
Thank
guy
you.
until recently. He's given a position as a presidential
Mhm.
advisor. He's also, I think his mother is British or something. His father is Nigerian. But the guy was liked because he is pro-Nigerian, pro-black and everything. And none of that mulatto nonsense too. So I'm saying,
Mm.
well, okay. Because I remember there was an article I was reading. Some Asian American girl, her parents were, I think, were Taiwanese, but she was born and raised. She ran there and realized, shit, there's a lot of things that for her to get back in Taiwan. In America, it's hell, the rent, the hustle. So a lot of people, especially the mulattoes that never thought or considered Africa, they're running faster to Africa than the blacks that are not even mixed, because those ones are still thinking they will make it. But the mulattoes is like, I think
Okay.
from the white side, they kind of get this shit is over.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a question I was gonna ask too. It was like I think we're living in late stage capitalism. And so how long before this falls apart anyway, and will
It could,
all of this be for
it,
nothing?
it could fall apart tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Shit. Let it happen.
Because I feel like
I don't know,
I-
man. I don't know, Tony.
Calm down, bro. Calm
Yeah.
down.
right.
Yeah,
I
slow
feel like
your
we
roll.
all feel it.
Slow your roll, Junior.
You know, I feel like we
After
all
last week,
feel
I'm
it.
scared of
You
shit.
know. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm done.
The snake. If I was to have to do business, I would ask between Gambia or Ghana. I'd probably be Ghana. Gambia is tiny, number one, and basically it doesn't have a lot of resources or infrastructure. So unless you really you got a plan for Gambia, and you're willing to actually go in and roll up your sleeves, I'd pick Ghana.
I
Oh,
think to be
BGS.
honest, Ghana, like you said, BGS is a good entry point because Ghanaians are not as ratchet as us Nigerians. So at least it's more calm,
It is more
So
common. Yeah,
yeah, in Nigeria it's more kind of like New York, you have to be hot blooded.
yeah,
And
Yep.
yeah.
even regardless of which part of the country, even up north that's supposedly like more chill, we still Nigerians. We still have that hot headedness.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just
Yeah.
like saying Canada and the States. as the stereotypes go anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
basically, plus Ghana is less authoritarian than Nigeria. Nigeria is very
Mhm.
authoritarian. Like them
Yeah.
and Kenya are very
Eh,
authoritarian.
Yeah.
we had to calm down, BGS. We
You
had to
will
calm
get
down.
you will get your ass beaten in Nigeria. Trust and believe.
Some of these
Yeah.
niggas.
Bottom line. Well,
We
they're
had to
not
calm
really,
down, though.
huh?
We
I
had to
well,
calm down. Why
I
did you
think
just calm us down?
I think money. I think infrastructure and money will actually tame. Like it tamed the Europeans. Europeans were very violent and vile, and basically money and money.
Were.
I mean,
Obsolescence.
I
compared
know
to
BGS. I'm messing with you. I'm messing
okay,
with you.
yeah,
Yeah. BGS, I wanted to also like bring up this issue. I know a lot of times people from in out of Africa, they always wondered why is it easier for Africans to just it, be in interracial relationships and whatever. Well, the thing they don't know is that post-colonialism, when most of the boomers were growing up, whites when they were leaving, they intentionally sowed the code of discord. So
mm,
they find the embers of tribalism. So
mm,
most of the boomers, either their parents were engaged in tribal tension,
mm,
post-colonialism. So some of them, when they grew up, they thought that okay, shit, they need to do away with this shit because before you only married people in your tribe. Then that started to change. You can marry anybody within other tribe. Okay, like let's say regardless of what tribe you are, all of you guys go to the same church or mosque.
mm,
You intermarry. So when us Gen X's were coming up, it's normal to see one of your cousins or this one's mother or father is from a different tribe. So for
mm,
us, we only know race when we go abroad. So, but then you find, for example, tribes that have been beefing, like let's say the way Irish and the English English have been shitting on the Irish. So it
yeah,
might be easier for both of them. You guys hate each other, but all of you can marry people outside your race or outside your tribe, but not
yeah,
these assholes because you're rivals.
yeah,
But
yeah,
other tribes, you can intermarry because you're trying to appear less, how
yeah,
would I say, tribalistic, which is seen as a bad thing.
yeah.
So that's why it's
That's right.
easier for Africans to just like I've seen here many times. Maybe
Uh,
some village boy that comes here on scholarship, he's
mm,
going to church with some Hungarian girl. Next thing you know how
mm,
Becky's are sneaky.
yeah,
She does the whole cook for you, and it's the first time because he's just used to see some of us that are coming from richer homes cruising with chicks. That's the maybe the closest he can get to a chick's panties is if he's given her clothes to do laundry. Now
mm,
this girl is cooking for him, cleaning
yeah.
for him. That's it. He's gone. And even he's seen
I'm
some of his classmates that are coming from richer homes are looking down on him when he can be pulling women from here, left, right. So
I'm
that's why.
happy you touched on that because I actually would love for the census to do something where they find out who's really marrying out in the black race in America. Because being Haitian, being first generation born American but Haitian descent and Bahamian descent on my mom's side,
Mm.
I really think it's black immigrants that are marrying out more
Yeah, of
first,
course.
second, third than black Americans. I know,
Not
and
really.
for those that disagree
Not
with
really.
me, I want to know why you disagree with me.
Not really. No, I'm in Los Angeles. I can tell you that's not true. It's
I'm in
actually been.
Miami, and I think from at least from what I'm seeing, I think it is
Mhm.
at least down here from my experience in
Marrying or
Miami.
dating?
No,
Yeah,
no. Basically, no. It's um. We have black folks in the Midwest, man, and that are intermarrying. Um,
Oh.
you know what?
basically,
You're right. Yeah, got to factor
one
that
one thing.
in. you see how
One,
you see how quick I folded on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
yeah. If it's
Oh,
happening in the
one thing.
Midwest, then yeah. Oh yeah,
Basically, I
there's a
always say
there's
that and it's been proven that the fact of dating and mating is
proximity,
is
as you said.
proximity, right? And basically, if you look on the West Coast, I'm in California. You go to Portland, you go to Seattle. Basically, it's who you're around because half the dudes here in Los Angeles, and I know they're
Mm,
not Haitian, or
Mhm.
they're not
And
Haitian.
BJ is
Like
also a
they
lot
they,
of
they
Africans
marry
that
with Latino.
You
a
got to
lot of
think of the
Africans.
schools. You got to
but
think of the schools and the education system make it like they trying to get race out of it, so they're making it okay to date Becky and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah, and
they're
BJ is also
socialized
one
to
thing
it.
I noticed, like some of the Africans here, because education is ridiculously cheap here.
Mm-hmm,
Like I said before, like 2,000, 3,000, $4,000, you can get a bachelor's here.
mm-hmm,
So some that are coming from not middle class, but homes that are able to save a little money, so they come to Europe here, get
mm-hmm.
their degree, maybe bag a local here, get his papers or working on it, then fly to the states, or even if he didn't get a woman here, but the fact that he's here, it's easier for him to enter the states. So
Mm-hmm.
I know some guys that did that. So they'll catch anything, be it a Keisha or one of these mud sharks in the States. He's just trying to, get his papers. But those that are coming from more richer homes,
Okay.
because they're thinking of legacy, if he's
Mhm.
gonna go for a white girl, just gonna be some run of the mill, Becky. It's gonna be maybe she comes from money too, because you know how Africans are with classes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the broke ones, they'll just grab anybody that's American just for him to get his
Oh
papers.
yeah. Trying to get that card.
So in other words, they play the Coon Train theme with djembes and shit, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
they don't have the same
Wait.
they don't have the same relationship with white folks that black folks in
Yeah,
America
of course.
do.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that
and it also
that
depends on the tribe also actually, because
Yeah.
some are more
yeah.
open, some are more kind of like, how will I say, they're really high on their own tribal thing. So your parents would know that, okay, you're, I don't know, living together or whatever. In some cases, these bastards, they might have families back home, and the wife is in on it. But so his woman abroad is thinking, oh, your sister is calling. She doesn't know it's his wife.
Ah,
I know niggas that have done shit like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. No, I can't do it. That's
but
next level, like award winning Oscar shit. That's
yeah,
next level.
Oh.
but also
No,
there's a
that's
reverse
normal.
side of
It's
it
it's
actually.
it's
That's normal.
but admixture is normal, man. It's normal. You
Uh,
see, we have been taught that it's abnormal. It's normal.
yeah,
I don't think it's normal, but I know what you mean.
It is normal. You go to the continent and see what happens, man. It's happening on the continent right now. They don't have any angst to it. It's normal to admix.
That's true, but when your mixed kids got all them health problems, I don't
Well,
know, man.
regardless of
yeah,
health problems, the admix is normal. It's a normal
yeah. But
thing.
I mean, back home, colorism is more of a bigger issue. Okay, for example, like in most of the tribes, like
Mhm.
I'll talk about my own. So we always have this thing that the lighter skin you are, the more frail you are, and the more neurotic you are. So what happens is like
I
poor
wonder
people,
why.
will avoid being with
Mhm.
lighter skinned women because he's struggling to put food on the table. He doesn't have time to be rushing out to the hospital. But the guy who now, if he makes money now, and he's gonna take a second wife, it's like, okay, niggas have arrived. He's gonna take the lightest skin bitch because it's a cool thing for him.
because she is
He's flying her abroad for treatment. So
because it's rare. So basically, she's exotic.
Yep.
yeah,
So
but I mean, even tribes
yeah.
that they would
Hmm.
like, for example, mine would like. I think we're more predominantly lighter skin, but people try to find the darker skin sisters. There's even jokes that we have that they're more durable. So it's because I've seen a lot of family friends and people that I know that are the dons. The first wife, he was broke and his mama chose her for him, but the second wife, she's the lightest skin model.
Mhm.
So and those ones, they have to, I don't know, because for the lighter skinned women too, they have to either try to show that they're not weak, but since they realize when niggas get money, they're coming for them, so they enjoy the light skin privilege too. So now they're uppity bitches as well.
Yeah. I
Uh, so
mean,
light, so light skinism is international.
Yep.
yeah.
It's been international.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a documentary
Universal.
about colorism in India, and that shit is.
Yeah,
I
but I
think
mean,
our
theirs is more fucked
colorism is
up.
lightweight. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Our
Oh yeah,
colorism is lightweight compared to what they got going on over there.
oh
Like
yeah.
that
It's
Yeah,
shit
like
is
it's
next
like
level.
it's pretty much fucked
in
up over
in
there.
Asia is worse actually. In all parts of Asia is bad.
Yep.
It's pretty
Yeah,
fucked up over there. I mean,
yeah.
there's three things you can never answer. Will Goku get
Mhm,
stronger?
mhm.
Is the
Ah,
universe going to get saved? And is a light skinned chick going to text back?
ah.
Find out.
No.
Find
No,
out on the next
but the
episode of
funniest
Let's
thing
Crack
is that
All Day.
I noticed one thing: lighter skin brothers, they don't like going after lighter skin sisters. They rather find a darker skin one. And
That's
I'm thinking
because
this, and even the lighter skin sisters do the same. It's because maybe they're running a game.
that's because a lot of the darker skinned sisters be like fawning over them. That's why,
Yeah, yeah,
and they don't want to compete against two people in the mirror kind of thing.
exactly.
Mm.
Good point.
They don't want to
Well,
deal with the snarky attitude they
I,
give.
And that will change.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Yep.
but I mean, it also depends on tribes again. Because, for example, like in Kano, I can't, Kano people among the houses, they are the most colorist bastards out there.
Hmm.
Because for them, they don't give a fuck if she's light skinned, she's good to go. There was a time the Saudis deported some Yemeni people, they dropped them off in Nigeria. Kano
Uh-huh.
people married them overnight.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay. Well, they were
That was
exotic.
in early 2000.
wow, wow.
It's like dropping Russian women off into the United States.
yep.
Yeah,
Oh, they do
Yeah.
that heavy shit.
but other tribes, like for example, one of my Yoruba friends was telling me for them, they prefer chocolate sisters. They really don't give a fuck about the lighter skin that much. So it depends on the tribe. Some they have their preferences. So when you find, for example, the Hausa people all over Nigeria, like they have the like 7 Hausa states, but like 19 states in the north. But Kano is more notorious for that. And Kano is like the New York because everybody and his mama is in Kano. It has been doing international trade since the trans-Saharan, days. So they're
Hmm.
used to having people of all races and phenotypes there. So it's seen as a status symbol, actually.
Well, the coon train is coming.
Yeah, but
Shit, coming.
and they, and
Be reaching its destination and stopping,
there,
man.
and the thing
Yeah.
is, there's a member of parliament that I was back home. So apparently, her mother was one of the people that came, to Nigeria that worked on the what do you call it, the steel mill. So she of course grew up Nigerian and whatever. So I'm thinking now that most of these things are happening, more and more people are, the non-black women are going to be coming to Africa, and the African women are going to have a taste of what the sisters in America have gone through. Because now there's a hustle for the middle class, African women to be going around throwing feminism and all of that nonsense.
Hmm.
The same way that the boule in Black America are scamming, the poor Black Americans with the poor feminism nonsense.
Hmm.
But mind you, all of them, they went to private school abroad or at home. They're girls coming from rich homes, busy talking nonsense to the poor Black women, to get likes and clout and be giving
Hmm.
conferences on whatever. But
Yep.
if they wake up
Oh,
and start seeing maybe Maylin or Cassandra coming for them, man, I think they will throw that shit to the side too.
Time to spread the love. That old pink pill love.
oh,
Yeah.
Ain't
they
that
tried.
love?
They tried that in Ghana. They
Hmm.
tried the whole feminist thing in Ghana. Some Ghanaians women got beaten up, and they started crying on the radio, apologizing to their husbands.
Well, basically, the white folks, and and basically the World Economic Forum and others trying to really push feminism and birth control heavy in the on the African continent. Now they're trying to get the birth rate down,
Yeah, but the
so
Oh,
African
so it's
but
not
mothers
going to
aren't
be hard.
having it, to be
Niggas are gonna
honest.
fuck and make babies.
CBGS, there's one thing you can't stop black people doing, and that's fucking. You might can stop
Fucking
them
and making
breeding, but you
babies.
can't stop them. You can't stop
Yeah,
them.
but I'm saying that they don't can't stop them from fucking, but thing they're trying to push abortion and birth control
Yeah,
Shit.
and
but I
condoms.
mean,
Yeah.
it might not go that far as they want. There was something actually that happened. I think I was in early 2000 when I started school, uni back home. So there was a girl who was in second year medicine. I was in first year. She said something that kind of gave me the chills. So she's a girl from a middle class family, light skin, and all of that. She was telling us that we're like 1 or 2 years below her in med school. That men need to man up and start marrying more than one wife. So
Mm,
when I sat down and calculated, wait, you bitches in first year are busy thinking you're not gonna marry anybody that has a wife. So it probably don't in her shit before I finish med school. It's gonna be 7, 8 years. All of my
mm,
friends are gonna be married. Who the hell
mm,
am I gonna marry? So
Ah,
it's the women pushing polygamy in Africa, actually. You know,
mm.
They
so
have
all of this feminism nonsense, it's not gonna fly because I've seen the older women that are maybe Gen X's and a little below BGS. They're not having that feminism nonsense
It, it,
because
it,
they
it,
know they need their men.
it
yep.
will happen, but the thing is, for what the Europeans are trying to do, it will happen too late. In
Yeah,
other words, it takes time for this stuff to kind of take hold. For if you look at South Korea, where they're just really now started feminism really starting to take root in South Korea, right? But the
Hmm.
thing is, it took about 50 years,
Yeah.
and for a whole continent like Africa, it's going to take about 50 years. But by that time, the the um, the demographic momentum is such that the Africa will still have 4 billion people on the continent by 2100.
Mm.
Yep.
and there's
You know,
something BGS you
Basically,
said about black
go ahead.
women's fertility.
Hmm.
Actually, 98, I went to the general hospital in the city that I lived. When I
Hmm.
asked about the birth rate in that particular hospital, it was like 250 girls to 40 to 50 boys. And I
Hmm.
went back in 2003, it was like 360 girls to like 60 boys. So it's
Hmm.
clear. Almost everybody that I know, they have
Hmm.
more sisters than brothers. My
Yeah,
family just being among the few.
yeah,
Almost everybody that they have a bunch of girls.
yeah.
And depending on the
Shit.
part of the country, like up us in the north, A normal family is 6 to 8 kids. That's normal. Anything below that is seen as a small family. In the
Shit,
Yeah,
south,
don't
because
let
the
me
land
over
is smaller,
Anything below,
so they have smaller families.
yeah.
That's crazy. 68.
Basically, yeah. So I mean, it's part of the DNA for what it could be.
Reserve,
Um,
reserve
it could
parking.
be
What
it
up,
could be the
gentlemen?
environment that they developed in. Yeah, he's smooth. Uh,
He got the
Yo,
tow
Developed
truck
in.
yo.
The
right
thing
there.
is,
Not trying to get towed today, sir. Mhm.
so what, so
I'm
what
sorry, you guys. I'm
Nana,
sorry, you guys.
Nana,
all right. So
hey Nana.
go ahead
So, go go
now.
ahead, go ahead, man. I'll finish.
oh,
I'll go when you.
No,
um,
what I was saying is
just a
what I
quick
was saying is
just a quick.
well, what I was saying is that it's probably the environment of the continent. If you look at all the creatures in on the continent, right, there it's more females
Mhm.
than males.
True.
Yep.
So it'd be natural that the African woman would have more females than
Yeah.
or have more females than normal. Like I think most other groups have like 105 males to like 100 women, right? And basically, if you
Mhm.
look on the black people or African descendant females, it's almost 1 to 1. So
Yep.
they have more females than they do than
More coochie for me, nigga. Shit.
well, yeah, more wombs to reproduce and
I'm
actually more
telling
fertile.
you.
Yeah.
Don't let me get over there, my nigga. You gonna have 1,000 Tonys in
If
that
you
bitch.
get over there, you're
Yeah.
probably gonna end up, with two
With-
wives and concubines, but they don't care because as far as they're concerned, don't bring disease or a kid home and we're good.
We
Shit,
good.
a
Yeah.
lie is good, my nigga.
They do that here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, BJ's, there's something that happened that literally blew my mind.
Hmm.
So this guy,
Hmm.
some boss in the office,
Hmm.
his secretary came all shaking. What happened? Oh, your wife knows. Your dude panicked. How did his wife know? The secretary, she put her panty in the guy's, briefcase because she was thinking he was gonna marry her too or kick his wife. What
Hmm.
the wife did, she took the panties, she went to
Hmm.
her home, knocked, and gave it to her. Came back and became the best wife to her husband. Dude was chilling, thinking, "What the fuck's going on?" Madame
Hmm.
is being all sweet and whatever. She knew. She just, upped her game. When he found out that she knew, he never misbehaved again.
Hmm.
Mm.
So for many now, it's just because about the resources now, because life is not like before that one income was enough. Like when we were growing up, now both parents have to work a little bit to maintain the lifestyle. So the women now are more like they're resistance for polygamy if she's the first one, but if she's not, they're more for it because it could be like maybe your friend she'll be pushing her sister on you even though she knows you have a first wife, regardless if she's cool with your wife or not. But if she gets in, she probably try to block the door. But when she thinks you're gonna kick her out, yeah, she will be the one to help you find out a second wife.
So we're talking about circumstance
I was just
changing
gonna say
minds
something
more
to that.
than principle, because I feel like we're not on that same level over here in the states, but there's sisters that are like, you know what, I'll if you can provide for me, I'm okay with being your side chick, and I won't snitch. I won't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm okay. You
They've been
know.
doing
actually now
they've been
the
doing that here
culture
for
of
years.
yeah, actually now the culture of baby mamaism is happening predominantly in the south because like in the north it's predominantly Muslim. So
Mm.
yeah, it's not gonna be easy for you to just pump out
No, no,
bastards
no,
kids.
no.
You're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah,
So
basically basically the women and the men will take care of that.
yeah.
If you get a woman pregnant, they will come see you. You
Yeah,
know.
because I'm seeing cases
Yeah.
whereby babies are
Yeah.
found, I don't know, abandoned and stuff like that. So getting pregnant, no, it's a no-no. Even people who borrow money to get married, but at least not having bastard kids willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, like that
Uh,
goes back to what I said earlier. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but give me 2 seconds. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about late stage capitalism. Everybody's
Mhm.
changing up a little bit because at least a little bit because the whole game is has flipped upside down because we realize the resources aren't there like they used to be.
Mhm.
I mean, it's more complicated than that. Um, for a lot of different reasons. That's why I've touched on it. I've touched on it quite a few times. In fact, I used to touch on it like 5 6 years ago, and a lot of that stuff is in my on my BS for Books channel, which is Quigley's book, Tragedy and Hope. He actually explains the civilization of rotation. Okay, it
Uh-huh.
basically it's already predicted. It's basically he actually came up with the formula, and this is just the formula acting itself out, which is why they did not want to actually um, start developing the continent because they will put
Mm.
the continent in line next because they have basically the only thing they didn't the two things that the continent didn't have that they needed that they couldn't supply themselves, which is infrastructure, and technology. They had to get it from somebody else.
Mhm.
And once you start giving them technology and infrastructure, then basically they have the other two. So basically, China's literally training their own replacement, which is something that
I was thinking that.
yeah,
I
they
was thinking that.
literally are. And basically, they literally didn't have a choice and because we were looking at this in real time. Okay, well,
Mhm.
basically, if you're looking at it in real time and saying, okay, what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? And that's what we're literally doing. Okay, I know they don't want to develop them. They're trying to get resources. They're trying to do deals to get resources from them. Really, what they want to do is just pay them money. Okay. In other words, when they came into and do the contracts in like the mid 2000s, basically Europe is giving you this for your resources and not doing anything, right? So we guess what? We're gonna give you fair market rates for your resources.
Mm.
That was their initial thought. In other words, all we're gonna do is just give you money, and then what happens to the money? If everybody knows what happens to the money once it gets to the on the top, it stays at the top, right?
It stays at the yeah.
They don't develop. All that money goes into European banks and whatnot. It gets hidden.
Exactly.
That's what
Like
usually happens, right? And that's what the Chinese were cool with that. In other words, um, will keep the continent subservient. In other words, there will just be a place where we go get resources. We develop enough to actually extract the resources, and that's it. And the Africans will be happy with just us just giving them money. But the thing
like
is, something funny happened, right? With the complex things with Mideast wars and Gaddafi and a whole bunch of other things, right? Oh shit. Okay. Now we really have to come in and actually do more with these people because we just got
Mhm.
because now they don't have the ability to actually develop themselves. And plus the African leaders like Nana and Kirky was saying, wait a minute, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, like I was watching a clip of Malima today, and I
uh,
was like, "Y'all let Malima become like the president of Africa. It's over. It is over for everybody." Like, because I'm
they're gonna
listening to him
kill
talk.
him,
Yeah, but he's a pan Africanist to the
and the
core.
blacks will be
which,
To
among
the
the ones who pull
core.
the
which is
trigger.
why they don't want Malima. If Malima was any place else, he might be president already. If he was any place else, he might be
Hmm.
Yeah,
president already.
BGS,
Yes, sir.
BGS.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, I have a feeling that he might get taken out.
I hope
I
not,
just have a
man.
feeling.
I hope
Me,
not
I
me
don't
neither,
think
because
too.
the
I
way
don't
he
think
speak,
so.
it's really
Me
promising.
too.
I don't think so, man.
yeah. If they
I don't
kill
think they
him,
can risk that.
people are
He might,
gonna come after
he
him. Are
might
gonna
get
be
he
crazy.
might get taken out. That's like
Nah,
literally what I'm waiting for to
I don't
happen.
think so, man. That'd be
nah.
kind of
They're
basically
gonna make a martyr
you have
out of him.
riots in the streets, and they don't really want that. And the Chinese really don't want riots in the streets because they're trying to establish
Mm.
a foothold.
Yeah, the whites
Well,
are already crying that the Chinese are involved in what sort of thing that happened in South Africa. I'm just laughing because all the atrocities that they have done is coming to bite them in the ass.
well, maybe not assassinate him. What about more like character assassination?
Well, they can
Yeah,
Find
do
they've
some
that.
done
crazy
They've
scandal
already
that brings him down,
they've
a
already
few
tried
pegs.
they've already tried that a few times.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
gonna change. People already like him because they
Yeah,
see him as a mini
Nana,
Mugabe or something.
yeah,
hey Nana,
but
Nana,
they don't
were
want.
you born? Were you born? Were,
Go ahead.
were you born on the Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
Can you hear him,
Hello,
Nana?
This here.
Can you hear him?
Nana.
Can you hear him? Can you hear Smooth, Nana?
Yeah, I
Y'all
can hear
can't.
him.
He said, "Were you born on a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday?" That's what he asked.
Pardon?
He asked, "Were you born on a Friday, Saturday,
What
or
day? What day of the
what
week
day
were
were you?"
you born?
Monday.
On Monday.
Was born
So
on
how would
Monday.
they call you? What Nana would they call you?
I think that's just his nickname. I don't think that's his real name.
Oh,
No,
that's the
Nana
nickname.
is actually Nana is like a unisex name.
Hmm.
It's given to both men and women.
Both men and women. Yeah, I
Oh,
know,
okay,
but
In
okay.
they
Arabic, it's
also, but
mostly
they
women.
also,
It's more like a lady, so or something like that. It's a title.
No, because there's kings called the first Nana was a king, but then
yeah.
when he died, they put a woman on top. So then they have to give her the name as well.
Yeah, but in Arabic, is different. It's more like how will I say, like Miss or Lady or something.
Mm.
But I know, like my friend is from Ghana, and his name is Nana
I'm an
Yao.
Arab, so I don't know.
And
I think
I think I thought y'all do it based on like the day of the
days.
week that
Oh,
people are
BGS.
born.
Yeah,
I think
yes,
many tribes in Africa do that. So each day has a name, so they might call you
Fante,
so and
Fante,
so,
Fante.
meaning you're born on that day. It's more like a pet name usually.
What tribe are you from?
Me,
Yeah,
I'm Fulani.
you're what?
Fulani,
Fulani,
You're you're Fulan.
yeah.
Fulani, Fulani.
So wait, what country you from?
Well, where are you from, dude? We're all Omo Niger now.
Nigga, you Nigerian?
Yeah, man.
He said it.
He said it like a million times.
Yeah.
So I'm out here trying to figure out, like, in
Oh, BGS.
Ghana,
Remember when you were talking about the
No.
people?
this this dude said Fulani. I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, well, they are
Remember when you were
Fulanis in
talking?
Ghana too.
Yeah.
From Senegal
Yeah,
up to Somalia, Sudan. They're all over the damn
they're all
place.
over the place. Somebody trying to get in?
I only know Nigerian.
BGS.
Yes, sir.
Remember when you're talking about the people wanting to have land in Africa? Yeah.
Oh, the BAIO? Yeah.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Yes, sir.
About a year or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
some Africans tried to separate from, I think it was Ghana or Togo,
No, I
to
think
create
it's
their
in
own land,
Cameroon.
and they got arrested.
Oh, yeah.
In Cameroon, the Anglophone and Francophones have been in each other's necks. But France is quiet because they know if the Anglophones go, they're probably gonna have their own currency, and that's the beginning of the end. So they're very quiet about it, and they've been
There's a
killing a
lot
lot
of
of
these
the
Yeah,
Anglophones.
basically, anytime you have a separatist group inside a region or a country, it's a security problem. I mean, it's not that hard to understand. I don't know why they try to sell this. Okay, no leader in his right mind or worth his salt would allow that because it's a
They did once.
they did. Oh, did they? Where?
Yeah, in Ghana. But in the old days in Ghana, they were actually like the Ashantis ruled over Ghana,
Hmm.
Togo, and what's the other one?
Is it Benin?
What's it? Ivory Coast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ivory Coast. Okay.
Ivory Coast, and then the top, so the other country at the top.
Hmm.
The Ashantis ruled that, but then the British came in and said,
Oh yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah.
you lot are too powerful. Screw that shit."
So they broke it up. Yeah,
Yeah, they broke it up into four pieces, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah.
And I think the British had to do that because British, if you notice, like in West Africa, the northern parts, they almost have almost the same tribes because like northern Ghana and northern Nigeria have similar. They both have Hausa, Fulani people, and many other similar tribes. Which, if you're gonna calculate the number, that's gonna be a very big nation because some of them span
Uh,
multiple countries.
Yeah,
So they have to like literally cut them into little morsels
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then put their cronies on there.
Oh, they learned that from being in Europe. They
uh,
did the same thing in Europe where they
Yeah.
cut up regions by states. Yeah, so they learned that. They started the mistake they did is and they're regretting it now is they didn't do it to China. They're getting ready to do the same thing as China, but they didn't.
Yeah. What I think this guy, Professor Lumumba, was saying, he
Hmm.
was saying that the Europeans should be the ones learning from Africans because in Africa you find multiples of tribes in one place, but in Europe, what do you find? Mostly one, at most two. And it's true
What the thing
because
is,
in every country that they kill off the others or they cannibalize themselves, so you find one country
oh
only
yeah,
has one language. If there's another minority, those guys are literally, if non-existent, you hardly even see them, or they're totally, intermixed.
yeah, they want to homogenize. They
Yeah.
want to homogenize, and going forward, going forward, that probably will happen. Because and Nkrumah tried to do that with Ghanaians. That's something he actually purposely sent each group's children to be taught and be educated in a different region on purpose.
Yeah, I think they
So they would
copied
so
that
they
from
would
Nigeria, or was it Nigeria copied from them? Because after the Civil
actually
War,
no, actually it's copied from the German. It's called the Prussian school
uh-huh.
system.
Yeah, I think in Nigeria, what happened was after the Civil War, what they
Mm-hmm.
did, everybody that graduates, you have to work for the government for like a year. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say you're from
yeah, one
Texas,
year.
they ship you to New York, and from New York they send you to Cali, something
Yeah,
like that. you know.
Yeah,
So you just have to work for a
the thing
year.
is, by then it's too late. The thing is that if you start from age 5 or 6 and you ship
Mm.
them to different regions where they're educated by different people, guess what's going to happen? You're going to
Yeah,
start
because they have
your
federal school like
socialization
in
will start very weak because
yeah.
that's what the Germans, that's what they did in 1812, right? The
Hmm.
Germans started doing that with the German states. They started the school system, started educating them in the school system, and they started mixing the children from different groups with other teachers, or what they really did was they started bringing teachers from other groups and actually teach. So in other words, say you're Fulani, what you're Igbo, right? So they would bring in a Fulani teacher teach the Igbos and vice versa.
Yeah.
So in other words, you will start to slowly but surely lose your local cultural identity and start to blend yourself as one big group instead of 100 different tribes. That's what they did in Germany.
Because for one thing that I noticed, like for example, like
Hmm.
in the schools, in like a state, you have like there's a federal, you know, school, and then there are the state ones. So the federal, you know, you guys will come from any part of the country. The state is run by the state. If people are coming from a different part of the country that already work there, fine. They call them unity schools. So yeah, they have done stuff like that. Private schools, you just like, okay, let's say you guys are, you're above from Lagos, but you live in Abuja or Kano, so you guys would just send your kids to the school that's easiest for you. But let's say like you're, you know, coming from the countryside, from the far part of the country, you're smart, you got into the federal schools, you know, then you guys would be from all over the country, all of you there, and it's a boarding school too. So yeah, because I have some friends that went there, and they have friends from all over the country.
Hmm. Hebrew Vulcan,
I,
basically,
I
you got to. History is not just culture; it's also economic. The British stopped slavery because they lost the Revolutionary War. They wanted to cut off the labor force to the Americas.
They were so
I
losers,
actually had a
typical whites.
question. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it Igbo or Igbo? Because I pronounce it Igbo, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
I think that
You're
there's,
right. It's Igbo.
yeah, there's the G there, but most of us, since it's not our language, we just say Igbo. It's easier. It's Igbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we,
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Smooth,
but
are you
yes.
from the Delta, right?
I think Lexus is Haitian. Go ahead,
I mean,
Nana.
Smooth is from the
Oh,
Niger
yeah.
Delta, which is the South South.
Yeah, no, I'm Haitian descent. I'm Haitian descent.
Yeah. Now I was asking Smooth because I think I remember he said he.
nah, ain't no Delta. I'm not Delta. I'm
Okay.
from Edo State.
Mm. Go ahead, Nana. What are you gonna say? Nana, what are you gonna say?
Oh, about the polygamy thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since black women love
Niger
quoting the
Delta.
Bible, how come they never quote that part where all their favorite people in the Bible had like multiple wives?
Okay. Because they adopted uh, European values, even though they don't necessarily do it in practice because they still had more than one. Guys still had more than one woman. They just couldn't do it officially. So they in by mouth they'll say it, but in practice they don't actually do it. They share men. They still do.
I say,
If you guys can hear me, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I went to the
um,
we can hear
Mecca
you.
for a bit.
yeah, so basically that's just they're adopting the European mores that they were socialized here. That's all it
And
is.
BGS was one
But
thing
they
I
must,
noticed also.
but they must
The
know that it
reason
doesn't
why
work for them.
there's
Yeah,
angst between the African diaspora and
Mm,
and the Africans in the state, the bastard African immigrants, they never tell the Africans in Africa the truth.
okay.
Yep.
Could you elaborate on that? I want to hear more about that. What do you mean they don't tell them the truth?
He has to come back.
Tell them about the conditions.
are you talking to
Um,
me?
No, I
I,
think I think Kirky
about
was
the
saying something, but he
conditions.
dropped off. He'll be back.
Oh,
Think
okay.
yeah, because I was confused by that one because I'm like, what truth?
Oh, in other words, they don't tell them. Basically, what it's saying, they come here and they'll tell the honest conditions about black life here. That's what he's trying to say.
That's. I have some.
Or
I
even if
have
they
some.
come,
I have some
even if
interesting dealings
they
with a
come,
lot of people from the continent. Through, and it's like they call you lazy, but some of them are just some of the laziest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life.
Because okay, they basically they look at the United States, that the first world is paved with gold, and how come if they can come here and actually uh, move in a certain way, how come you can't? You actually live peacefully.
And the beginning of my sentence would start, nigga. Really?
That's what they believe.
That's funny.
and that goes into what dude was talking about, the truth, that we don't tell them the truth,
Yeah.
and then more of them will come here, not knowing, being uneducated and stuff, and just hearing what they were told by their white counterparts about living in America and African Americans, and
Mm.
then they just work on that program,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, I think the internet. I think the internet and social media and all that kind of stuff is actually starting to kind of bridge that gap.
Well, I'll tell you this as a first generation American, I had to check a couple of my family members too at family dinners and stuff because they come out the mouth crazy about Black Americans sometimes. And a lot of times it's because you got bullied for 2 years in middle school and now you hold that shit for like 20 years type shit, you know? So like, yeah, man, I got bullied. Everybody gets bullied in middle school and high school. Like,
Bro,
stop it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
got
And
bro, at some point you have to fight back.
yeah.
man, yo, like down here too, you see it with some like my best friend is half Black American, half Nigerian. His dad is Nigerian, and
Mhm.
he's a big dude, so he never got bullied. But a couple of his family members, like, they'll be mad that they got called African booty scratcher in like the ninth grade, and they'll hold that shit for like 20 years. I don't get it,
You know, it's
you know?
funny. You learn in high school to be. You're gonna start off
Isn't
the
it? Wasn't it like a
victimized.
movie or something?
You're gonna
That scene.
start off.
They've been
You're
they,
gonna,
they've been calling people African booty scratchers when I was in kindergarten. Okay, it has nothing to do with where you're from, because you're black,
it's,
and
it's because
and
you're
basically
black. They're gonna insult you.
that was the biggest insult the insult they could actually give you, because we were at the time we thought all Africans lived had flies flying on them, or actually starving to death. That's what we thought.
That
But
Well,
Procra
down
ad. That
here,
Procra ad.
Was,
yeah,
was that prior to the mama jokes?
well,
no,
down here
no,
in South Florida,
the mama joke's been around for a long time. So no,
but down here in South Florida, like they used to have Haitian Jump Day. Like it would in the '80s. Anybody that know about like Miami, Broward, West Palm, like being Haitian was the worst thing in the world. Like late '70s, '80s, right up until Haitians started getting into gangs and getting into the street life, and then everything changed. And
hmm
I say this all the time as a person that's never been into that, but it wasn't Haitian intellectuals that made being Haitian cool. It was Haitian street niggas. And
hmm
nobody like in the Haitian
It's the
community,
same.
we don't
Can
actually
I tell
like to
you
admit
something?
that.
Can I tell you something? Here's a secret.
Yeah,
hmm
go ahead.
It's the
Most of
same
the
with
people who
Africans.
most of the
Before
people who think do illegal
before
shit make shit look
a few
cool.
years ago, like maybe like let's say a decade ago, it was
hmm
all Jamaicans. Jamaicans were the thing. Even Africans who were supposed to be proud Africans would say I'm Jamaican, and I'm looking at him like, dude, your name is Femi. How are you Jamaican?
That's
yeah,
hysterical.
Like most of the shit people do.
So yeah, it
Most of the
happens,
people who
man.
do illegal
Sometimes people are
shit
not proud until they
Hmm.
grow up, and they're
are the
like, "Fuck
people who
this
make
shit.
shit look
I'm
cool.
African, or I'm whatever I
Yeah.
am," and then they're
Think
proud of it.
about it. Think about it. I'm gonna be. Who would sell drugs if it wasn't cool? Like really? Like wait a minute. I'm getting chased by the cops, shot at, motherfuckers. I'm here early morning till late afternoon.
Yeah.
But you
I
look
mean,
cool doing it.
yeah, and I'm and it is crazy because I'm a beneficiary of that coolness,
hmm
that early '90s, mid '90s. Well, I'm sorry, I cut myself off for a second, but that early '90s, mid '90s kind of like Haitians, Haitians robbing people, Haitians shooting up shit, like,
hmm
and now we got the respect. So
Yeah.
now the Haitian intellectuals that used to pretend like they weren't, because for a little while Haitians used to not claim being Haitian.
Mm.
Like
It's,
you
it's,
would
So,
it's
hear.
no, it's
so,
no
now,
Go
different
ahead.
than
so
dark
y'all,
skin man.
y'all became real niggas, huh?
Yeah,
Real niggas.
like serious shit. Like it was the Haitian drug dealers
They were
and
like
killers that
in
changed
the '80s.
everything.
Yeah,
They were like in the '80s. Sign here. Okay, here's your official nigger card.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Basically, you know, get
Yeah,
out. They're real.
but
Oh,
it's
they're
no
real. Basically, they're real niggas now.
it's
yeah.
no
I mean,
difference
like,
than
and
being
everything's
dark skinned.
changed.
It's no difference than being a dark skinned guy and a chick thinking you got a big dick. What black man got to say no? Like,
Yeah, that's
oh,
true.
so it's like,
That's
hey,
true. Because I
like,
mean, you guys hear the way I sound, so you could tell I'm not into nothing. But I can acknowledge that it wasn't the guys necessarily like me that changed, the country's idea towards being Haitian or Haitian American. It was the hood niggas. It was the hood Haitians.
Yeah, because you
That
got
changed everything.
well, you got to
that's
remember.
how it is in America.
You got to remember, you guys were boat people in the '80s and '90s. You guys were just boat people, washed up boat people. You guys were literally the wetbacks of Black America.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think that comes with the territory, right? Like that you're paying your due to a certain
Yeah,
extent to come in and to come into the black community and then be part of the black community,
yeah.
And so I think some of the people that were living it way more than I was, because I was born in 86. So
Mm,
the people that were of age in 86, so they were like 16, 17, they took that bullying like as a hatred thing more than doing the playing the dozens or just jonesing or whatever. They
mm.
took it more literally, and I think that's one of the disconnects between black Americans and sometimes some of the other black people in the diaspora that come here, is that they don't necessarily understand the
Oh,
jokes. They don't understand, like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is just in jest.
I,
I
I
had to
was, I was,
explain
I
that
was,
to a couple of brothers. I had to explain that shit to
uh,
them. They be like, he called me African booty scratcher. Nigga, we always called each other that.
we did.
And he talked about my mother. My mother is an honorable woman, and she's fat too.
And like I told you,
Like,
my best friend is Nigerian, and he's like 2 times bigger than me. I occasionally call him African booty scratcher, and
Yeah.
he just laughs because I mean, like, it's not. But of course, we're like grown as hell. But it's not. It's in jest. It's not a hatred or a racist thing or tribal thing, I guess we would call it.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
sorry guys, can you hear me? Sorry, yeah, my mic cut off before.
okay. Yeah, but basically, trust and believe, man. In the '80s and '90s, they wanted to let you guys drown on them boats and shit, man. They did not want you guys here. The white folks did not want you guys here
And that's
at all.
another reason I pay respect to Black Americans, is because, like, how am I gonna come into your home? I just got here yesterday, and I'm telling you, man, y'all lazy. Like, I never got off on that. I never got off on that because, like,
they,
if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here.
Well,
see,
So
you
how
know,
am I
them
gonna
the
be
other
here
motherfuckers,
thing that
and then talk
sorry,
them
crap?
motherfuckers were mad because they were like, the reason why you in this is because you're lazy. Once again, what do we start our sentence with? Nigga, please.
Mm,
no, to be
Yeah.
honest, me too. I started using that, Officer Charles, especially like back home. You find in the north there are many people from the south that are all over the north doing all types of stuff. But
mm.
then they'll tell northerners lazy. Then I'm thinking, then why don't you motherfuckers go back and fix your shit and build your place since you're so hardworking? You need us, not the other way around. So
Like
it's
that's
just arrogance that people have.
yeah, it's like a fucking
Just
arrogance.
like
Like
your cousin that is gonna come.
I was talking to one a while ago. They were like, see, the black community, all you need to do was hard work. Nigga, we were slaves. How fucking harder could the work be? Nigga, please.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'd like to ship them all down to the south and put them on a cotton farm.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it also takes a certain level of introspection to
Mm,
be honest. Where you come from, especially for us that come from like Nigeria, Jamaica, Haiti,
mm.
Congo, or whatever. We have to admit, like, there's a reason why you came to the West,
Yeah,
America primarily. Like, there's a reason. So for you to come to the West and then sell out in the West towards the black people in the West that made it possible for you to be in the West, how is like
Like,
the level of like disrespect is astonishing to me.
you know, it's so fucked up
mm.
that black Americans are more Pan African than the fucking Africans. So
That's
it's like,
actually a point I was gonna make.
It's more. I think it's because of the education. I don't think it's
Mhm.
part of it because a lot of them just don't
I
know.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Because I
and it's
noticed,
like,
like, growing up like in the 80s and the 90s, because okay, like back home you are like over 300 different tribes. What the hell unifies you? You turn on the TV, you see Tupac, Biggie, and all of that. So
Yeah.
we all come together now. We're all black. Fuck your tribe and whatever. We can fight over each other, but there's something good that black people are doing. So we learned to unify under your banner. We learned what's cool because you said it is. Set the tone,
Mm,
you know.
I
So
agree
and
with that. I
because
think
of
Black
that,
Americans
The
are gonna
whole,
drag
the whole,
everybody.
the
I'm
whole
sorry.
religion of America is because of Black America. So like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I
But
think
again,
Black Americans are gonna drag the world
it's
kicking and
a
screaming into Pan Africanism.
Yeah,
you know,
them and the Chinese. Yeah. Because they're Black American and Chinese money.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny because it's like I had to tell a couple of the brothers like they talk like these guys are talking about me. Like when you get the rookie officers like who are like Puerto Rican, Haitian, or African, they're not used to like black Baltimore. It's like chocolate fucking city here. They were like, "Oh, you talked about my mother. That's dishonorable." Nigga, talk about his mother.
well, it depends
They're like,
actually. If it's
he
if
called my
it's
mother
African,
fat.
it depends.
He said my mother moves. Well, I did see your mother. She can you lose like a couple of 100 pounds, my nigga. I mean, but still, his mother's his mother's a whore. I seen her in the alley. So I got it back. So
Mm.
they talk about
100.
the couple of I mean, shit. I mean, you measure her by the metric ton. I mean, she was kind of big, man. I'm just saying. But back to the point, it's a cultural thing that people don't get. Black people have been what's the proper word I should use? The shitted upon.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you find humor in just your strife.
Officer Charles, I think we should blame you guys. Who the hell is putting out, mama, I love you. You guys are putting us all this shit in our head. So we think our mothers are goddesses anyway. So of course we're gonna take
I know,
offense.
we
But
know,
as soon as
we
we go
know.
boys to men,
Sometimes our moms ain't shit. We just don't want to tell everybody else. That's a family thing.
Yeah.
well, at least
Right.
back home they're more slick. They hide that shit. So. But you guys, you see mothers fucking up openly, and then you're able to check them. But back home, they're more covered in their nonsense, so you
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
know. You wouldn't know
You
your
wouldn't
mama
know.
is a whore. You wouldn't
Yeah.
know that your
yeah.
other brother probably is not really your brother. You wouldn't know that shit.
Oh,
But you guys,
they had a little shame. Huh?
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
That's real talk. That's real talk. It's hard to detect the drag.
yeah. Because
It's
back
really
home,
hard.
it's like BJ said countless number of times, it's the women that check the strikes. Your mother will not tolerate you marrying
Yeah.
a heifer because
Yeah.
she wants to keep being the queen goddess who is dictating, oh, your brother so and so, give him
Yeah.
money to start a business. Your aunt so and so do this and that for her. If
Yeah.
you bring a strike, she's gonna run you bankrupt and your mother's gonna lose power.
Yeah.
So she
And
makes sure that
If
that
you
you
bring
get
a
a woman that's gonna kiss her
So it's
ass.
really self-interest. It's not.
and
It's not so much selflessness. It's self-interest.
Nah, that's why you have a
and to
passport.
answer a question in the chat. When I first got on duty, I did average about 3 fights a week. So yeah, it was pretty entertaining. Like, man, that's why you fucked up. That's why your mama. Like what? Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna go about 20 more minutes, guys, and then I'm
you
gonna,
got the woman's joint tonight, right?
yeah.
Oh shit, I'm off tonight and tomorrow. Happy days are here again.
How'd you get the
I
fucking
mean,
weekend off, man?
I need a weekend, especially last week.
Mm.
Motherfuckers were like that was about what 200 rounds they lit into that motherfucker.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
And he shot. I mean, he ran out the car, shot at them, shot
Mhm.
2 cops and a civilian. Then they just said, "Fuck it, AR-40 caliber salute." I
Swiss
mean,
nigga cheese.
oh yeah, nigga deserve it. Fuck them.
Mhm.
I don't feel sorry for him. Then that was like a real. I haven't had a fucking night like that in years.
Oh, okay.
Officer Charles, we need you in Africa, right? You just set up your little harem, give us mini Officer Charles, at least.
No, I've been saying that forever. Thank you.
He can easily set up what do you call it, a wrestling federation and all of that because boys are looking for
Yeah.
things.
Don't threaten him.
Chinese are
Threaten
setting
him
up
with a
kung
good
fu
time.
academies and
Yeah, it's funny because I've had offers years ago, but I said, let me retire from here and then set me up. I'll be the trainer to somebody's military or police force.
Officer Charles, let me give you what you call it, a simple business plan. Most of these middle class uppity niggas, their kids are getting obese now. Is a problem in Africa now. Find
Really?
something, make this little bastard start running, wrestling, and shooting and whatever. So the parents would be more than happy to pay, and
So,
get them out of their parents' hair.
so
Just
in
set up.
other words, it's gonna you get they're falling in love with American food, huh?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Uh,
Would be
Our
great
grandmothers are losing their minds, telling
because
us, stop eting this white man's food.
yeah.
Usually, when the grannies come, she won't tolerate, given if you give your grandmother mayonnaise, he's gonna curse you. But the dumb kids, they just want to eat whatever they see on TV.
Yeah. So that means I'm gonna have a good business venture in
Yeah,
Africa. Hey, get
Yeah,
your kids. You want to get your kids back in shape? Come to
yeah,
Charles Hawkins.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and the men too, to be honest,
apparently,
because
like
many now are forced to start taking gymming and taking care of their health serious because
Oh
people
yeah.
are just working themselves to death and chasing money. But then next thing you know, the baton isn't what it used to be, and Madame is complaining. So and niggas, pride won't let them pop blue pills as much. So if you put them on a program, I think everybody will be happy.
and the
My
fact
son,
that it's going to be a
on a
wrestling thing.
side note, my son lost his goddamn mind leaving my door open like that.
Uh
Open the door. Open it.
oh.
Open the door. Why the hell is my front door open like that? Thank you. Shit. The audacity of Negroes these days.
The nerve of them niggas, huh?
I just picked up him and his best friend from school, and they're like, "How's your day?"
Yes, sir.
BGS, just a special thank you on our behalf to you, and also please extend our appreciation to Sister Kendra, because some of her material, I'm going to use it to beat the shit out of African feminists. At least I'll let them know you heifers are just repeating. These are the real women that actually know this shit, and now tell me what the fuck you're saying. You shut them up quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I love your.
Again, the echo.
Nana, you should have as a gift.
Hello.
It could have been Nana that's echoing. I'm not
I
sure.
was gonna say your latest rant was my spirit.
Not me.
Oh, okay, that's you.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna tell the brother to show them World Star Hip Hop and tell them that's them in 30 years if they keep that shit up.
I don't. No, I don't think the African women will allow it, man.
Well, I don't think the
women
dudes will
won't,
allow it,
because
but
No, they're not gonna allow it.
it's gonna mess with the money.
The kids are upset. Why? Because the women allowed it.
Yeah.
well,
honest, man, the
when you
more I
own
learn
your
what's
own
happening
land. Oh, go ahead.
ADOS brothers, I said the more I follow what's happening to you guys, the more my heart breaks, because if it's in Africa, I think probably the population of black women would be trimmed. They really need a spanking.
We don't say spanking, we say ass whipping.
Spanking, they fight back.
I mean, I'm trying to be PC.
You gotta echo
Even though I
everywhere,
know I'm hard.
Who fights back? Shit. Oh,
But it's like what BGS said, the solution to sisters in America is import other women, just drown out the black the culture. They will behave.
Yeah.
When they see African girls that are used to having their husbands, because especially I notice among Yoruba women, she could be a millionaire, whatever. Her husband is her husband flat. There is none of this whole misbehaving and whatever bullshit. Maybe at home, in the privacy of their homes, they could go wild, but their kids don't see them, acting out and all of that nonsense.
Yeah.
They
But
really
basically,
respect their
that's a lot of black women think they want a matriarchy. I said, if you really, I said, a real matriarchy, basically, especially in West Africa, the women actually put a big check on other females.
see, they don't want a matriarch. They don't want a true matriarchy because they actually have to do some work, and that's just like kryptonite to motherfuckers.
Would you say?
For example,
Would you?
Edward, you until you're ready to talk, bro. Okay, go ahead.
that was loud.
Edward's got a special effects photo.
No, it's just fucking iPad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
that do it. It's like if they really wanted the matriarchy, it's like my ex in the department used to complain about her being a woman. I said, how the fuck do you have it so tough? You don't even. I said you get paid the same amount of money as an officer with your time and grade, and here's the factor: you're not even required to do as many push-ups, bench press as much weight, the most you got to do is 60% of your body weight. A man has to do his body weight plus 50 pounds. Okay, so stop the bull. We have to run at shorter times. That sergeant or that lieutenant is not requiring you and your little pretty little friends to go clear up a fucking block full of niggas with guns. Okay, just ain't happening. They're just not looking for you to do that. But me, on the other hand, I can't use the same complaints that you use. Well, I can't do it by myself. I cleared a fucking party up by myself and I'm comfortable. So don't give me that bullshit because y'all just don't want to be accountable and y'all want the excuses to keep coming.
They,
Oh,
that's where the money is. That's all it is, man. If it wasn't the money in it, they wouldn't be
BJ's is like something you said, that disease, they're kind of looking at the millennials as they're crazy. There's
there.
one of the students that's here because I'm her guardian here. So I
Mhm.
was teasing her, just telling her, well, I came to town to check on her, but I thought she was busy. So I would have taken her out, but I didn't want to, offend her sensibilities. She might be feminist. Say, what? The hell no. That's nonsense. And I was telling her she's gonna marry, some millennials. Say, hell no. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's good. This girl can be saved.
like a
Because
lot
they've
of
seen how the elder sisters and and aunts are acting all of this, repeating white talking points and doing all of those crazy shit. And don't them are the bitches that aren't married, that are frustrated and are pining over the others that have been.
Yep.
oh,
But now,
they beat
like you said, it's not gonna happen.
No.
they
At
beat you up.
least
Yes, sir.
I had a little story from last night. When I went out with my young Padawan when we went out for drinks to go to this nice little spot.
Hmm.
The same spot where you saw the ladies when I said hi to the ladies. You probably don't remember. You think I'm always right about women. But anyway, here's the important. It was cigar night, and this nice, pretty little lady wanted to talk to Officer Charles. What else is new, of course, but still, who's bragging? Not me. And, and it was interesting because she tried to use some. Well, you got to understand, women can do the same thing as men. I said, since when? And she was trying to go through those little feminist talking points. And then
Hmm.
I said, if that was true, why the hell you looking for a man to take care of your ass? Well, I'm just looking for a husband to help complete me. Like, what the fuck are you, a Lego set?
Jerry Maguire, huh?
Some Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. So she gets mad. She gets a little irate and start wagging her finger. I said, my 60-year-old mother don't even do that to me. Either apologize or the conversation over. And I start walking away. And then she tried to save face because the older women who were at the place smoking their cigars, they were laughing at her. She was like, I guess the conversation was over. And the older ladies was like, what did you do to that poor girl? Introduce her to a real man. And they were like, oh, that is so sweet. And then she tried to come back and talk to dance around me again. I was like, nah, bitch, you don't know what part of conversation over means. Like, you get none of this. And walked off on her again. And then she apologized. Finally, I said, see, now I'll speak to you again. Is it that hard?
Hmm?
No,
There's something that I noticed here when I came also, like every office I go in is just full of women. And then bitches have attitudes, at least I came in, I tried to be professional and respectful. Then the nigga in me just snapped and I started going crazy on them, only for me to later realize, oh, they're stressed, they didn't want to work, but because they're not that many men, they're either, the men don't learn many languages because after fall of communism, the dudes lost jobs. So it's the women that were doing, small time secretarial jobs, ended up having one or two language skills. So now there's a foreign company, it's the women that are all over the place. And them bitches are stressed out of their minds, So I'm thinking, okay, feminism is just killing the poor and the working poor women because they're working crazy hours that men are, losing their hair, being miserable, all of them hugging on little dogs. And if they're lucky, maybe they might have a mixed baby who is at least how it's more better than a chihuahua, I guess. Oh, man. Western
well, you
life
gotta
isn't what
understand.
isn't what is marketed to the rest of the world as.
Well, you got to understand. They suffer from a very, very destructive disease called lackadickitis.
Yeah, that's true. They need to be digmatized. It helps a little bit.
Because
Well, a lot actually. In the
a
case
lot
of
of them,
these ones
a
here.
lot of them couldn't get a man if it was hot glued to their asses. Okay, and they're becoming. And then this is the other issue I find. A lot of these bitches are not taking care of their bodies, man. I went to the fucking mall the other day. Man, I seen a bunch of bitches built like Demolition and the Legion of Doom walking there. Like, and I'm
I think
like,
if you want them to start taking care of their bodies, you need to brainwash white guys to start looking at them. Then they will, because white guys are brutal. They don't give a fuck if they want a woman to be one particular type. They don't, they don't compromise. But niggas, we tend to have a bigger heart.
No,
no, no, no, no, no, no, no,
We're
no,
more
no.
permissive.
Wait a minute. Who what's your name, man? What's your name?
It's Kirky.
Huh?
Kirky.
Kilky. You know I love you, right?
Yep.
I gotta debunk your shit for a minute. See, the problem is this. It's not that niggas got a bigger heart. It's niggas are thirsty. They the garbage men of the dating world of this goddamn country.
That's why I say, in quotes.
Niggas thirsty.
No, you need to say that straight up.
They thirsty than a nigga in the Sahara with a camel with no titties, man. That's how thirsty they are. I mean,
you gotta understand, niggas. I used to be at the bottom. Like I said, some African illegal immigrant that came to Europe. Back home, he isn't getting any coochie. He comes here. He's not gonna go for the hottest bitch. He's gonna go to the farthest beach well.
Okay, that ain't me.
Nah, these niggas thirsty.
No, that's what they do.
Their mouth is dry. From
the beach well, then the buffalo, then they start ending up to moving up the food chain.
Niggas are so thirsty they'll fuck a water buffalo because they think it got good pussy.
Well, what you got to understand? Am I echoing still?
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, what you are is deeper. The thirsty thing is absolutely true, and I'm not undermining that at all. But it's so bad that you almost got to look deeper than that. Black men look for their manhood in a woman's womb, and that it's a very encoded thirst. And a lot of these dudes, they don't see themselves as men. They cannot separate vagina and then anything else. What other groups tend to do, and this includes a lot of Africans, is they value their manhood on accomplishments. Like, for instance, take Charles, for example. I've listened to him for a while. Wrestling, military, police. Doesn't mean that, you don't get the ladies, but the point is, if you had to say, how do you validate your manhood outside of females, not even to mention the mentoring you do with the, young boys and stuff like that, there's clearly things that you have. A lot of these dudes, if you really say, what have they done? Even if they have accomplishments, usually those accomplishments have something to do with bringing them close to the pussy in the first place. And with ADOS Black, that is part of the algorithm that black men have that is helping to power this gynocracy from the bottom up. White supremacy is doing it from the top down, but we're powering it from the bottom up. This is a big reason, since I'm gonna bring it back to the Pan-Africanist talk, why even if dudes want to go to Africa, what do you think will motivate dudes to go to Africa more on the law of averages? It will probably be finding a mate. That the business and other stuff will go into it.
Not really. I mean,
not
really. Most black men going to Africa are looking to connect. They're not looking to go there for pussy.
Okay, no, I'm not saying just that, but what I'm saying, and I'm not even talking about black men going to Africa. I'm just talking about when it comes to dudes getting their passport, period. I'm not necessarily saying they're just going for money, women, but and I get what you're saying, but that's not even my main point. My main point is you got dudes, take the women off the table. You got dudes getting their passport, and you actually have not black women, because that's to be expected. You have other black men coming out here and saying God knows what about motherfuckers going overseas, even though, quite frankly, it's none of their goddamn business if they got anything to say about it. But they really feel like they have a right to say something about it. And that's something that doesn't even get talked about. That's how deeply embedded the bullshit is when it comes to, a lot of ADOS black people. Anyway.
Yeah, well, this way off the topic, but go ahead.
well, what I mean is, like, when we have these conversations about Pan-Africanism and stuff like that, a lot of times when I hear a lot of, whether they're Africans or African Americans, talk about the United States, I don't expect them to be experts on the deeper things about why we do what we do or don't do what we do. But even black people that are here that are Pan-Africanists, they just talk in this very magical way about stuff, and it's like they don't want to say what the fuck really is going on as to why people aren't doing what they think they should be doing, or why they are doing things they think they should not be doing.
Because a lot of these people that actually hold titles haven't been vetted, because because of social media, they can get on a mic and they can say anything they want. And trust and believe, if the BAO actually showed up at a conscious community gathering and start spouting what they're spouting, they get shut down.
Oh,
If,
don't get me
if,
started on them.
if they go to the continent and spouting what they're spouting, they would get shut down.
They're basically I mean, I'm not even trying to talk about them directly, but what I will say is, I listened to your video, and your video was absolutely spot on. They basically are masking nigga shit. It's kind of like when you could be in the black church but still be on some nigga shit in the black church, or name any demographic that black people have. You could be on some. There's a nigga version of it, just like there's a Jedi and the Sith. There's a nigga, and there's a you get what I'm saying. And the biggest thing, worst thing that black people need to stop doing, and what I would say to BIO is, you need to stop acting like your shit don't stink. Like, I can be challenged because I'm not somebody that's so above what the fuck I'm saying that I think I'm always right, despite what people tend to think about me. But a lot of dudes act like they shit don't stink, and that's that shit they try to talk down to you from, or they think they can talk down to somebody. But anyway,
well, the thing is, it's been proved. Okay, the thing that upsets me is that being a Pan-Africanist, this is way before these dudes have been. Right? Basically, Pan-Africanism is more about education. Very seldom do you hear Pan-Africanists of any stripe actually talk down to anybody, because your job is to educate. Your job is not to talk down to, because the biggest hurdle in Pan-Africanism of even getting people, Africans coming from the first world, quote unquote, to a developing area like kind of Africa, is basically all it is education. Is because they had never been there, and they've been told what basically what they've been sold by white America. You see you see flies flying over a little kid with a distended belly, and you think that's Africa, and it's not. Okay, some parts are, but the vast majority, even the poor areas, they're not starving because there's plenty of food. They got plenty of land. They're not starving. Okay, the only time you see the starvation is because there's a war going on. But the thing is, you don't know that because you've never been there. And once people actually land there, especially black men actually land there and walk around for a week or so, they feel that big weight lift off their shoulders. Like, wait a minute, you know, I don't feel like a nigga here. You know, I feel comfortable here. Nobody's looking at me strange. I'm not hunted. Everybody's, they acting just like regular black folks, and they see a different side. And that's what happens when black men get the bug and actually go to the continent, which I encourage. At least once, just go there, and you can actually feel the weight just lift off your shoulders. And all of a sudden, people want to go back. Those are the people that actually want to go back, because they get it's a different feeling when you actually stand on your ancestral soil. It's a completely different feeling. And so it's not even about the women. It's not about the food. It's not even about doing business. It's basically even guys that are broke, that have no business sense. Once they get there, they don't want to come back because it's a different feeling.
And that's why I tell black men they should get their passports in the first place, primarily, because it gives them a kind of sense of focus. We got too many brothers a lot of times that they have this live today because I'll be dead tomorrow mindset. And I understand where it comes from. But it's like they have nothing that puts them into a focus of long-term planning. And one thing is getting a passport. Going to Africa is good. But going to Europe, it doesn't really. They just need to get away from the United States for a minute to decompress for a hot second and get that feeling. Preferably not the Caribbean or something like that, because that's still too much in proximity. So Africa is good, Asia is good. I would say Africa before Asia because it's cheaper. Also, I would even say Europe. I would say Africa first. I'd say Latin America first, to be honest with you, because that's probably cheapest and you get the bang for the buck. Then I'd probably say Africa. I really don't want to go to Europe before I go to Africa. I really don't want to say Africa was the last continent I went to. But I'll give you a perfect example, BVS. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. I had no fucking clue about Liberia. First time I heard about Liberia, shout out to Dynasty, was on Dynasty's channel. And my first thought was, I never hear these dudes Pan-African. When I talk about Pan-African, I'm talking about the ones on YouTube. I understand there's different levels of it. Because Dr. Klein Anderson, would you agree he's a Pan-Africanist or no?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay. So I never hear like them talk about actionable information, like what Liberia was and the history behind that. Hell, there was a lot of slaves in America that went to the Dominican Republic, and there's a part of the DR that
Mm,
speaks English. I
mm.
never hear that. It's always this old school, hyperly emotional, more timid. I'm talking about the type of Jews on YouTube, and you can tell that the depth is not really there. So what they're doing is they're trying to, get you on the salesy bullshit of it. I'll
Well,
say that.
they're not necessarily Pan African, even though they when they start talking about Kemet and all kind of stuff, they're not. I mean, they're Black history. They're not necessarily Pan African. Pan African is about the business of about uniting African people. So there's a difference.
And
So
how
everybody,
many of these people
So
on YouTube would
BGS,
you
what do you
honestly
think?
say
What have
talks
the Pan
about the
Africans really
business?
done so far?
not a lot of them are old school. Not enough. There's some, but the thing is, they're not necessarily popular. And the thing is that the old school Pan Africanists that actually teach um, are really not on social media a lot because they're more person to person. Um, they're the ones that they will help set up the trade fairs and stuff like that. Um, that you never really hear about. They're not on YouTube, unfortunately. Even I don't talk about it a lot on YouTube as probably as much as I probably should.
Wouldn't it be the black church? I'm not talking about now because now it's kind of fucked. But back, let's say in the 80s or 70s, like
Hmm.
wouldn't that have been the main network that had to have been gone through in order to really get a critical mass of black people as far as in the educated kind of realm or in the
They
90s?
it was in the 80s and 70s and 80s and even parts of the 90s. The black church did have black folks going over to the actually missionaries over in West Africa and East Africa in Kenya. So basically, if you wanted to get there and you were black and you want to live there, that's one of the few ways that you could actually do it. I know a lot of black missionaries that went over there for a year or 2 years. The thing is that it's also embedded in Christianity, which is a mixed bag. So yeah,
Yeah, I've seen the Ethiopian churches. There's a couple of around
we
here.
would
Yeah, they.
basically the most of them were actually went to actually either Kenya or they actually went to West Africa or Ghana or even parts of Nigeria for the most part. But the thing is, you mixing Christianity, and that's a whole different bag. That's not radical Pan Africanism.
Yep.
It's more like uh, I would say with them going over there's more like European indoctrination more than Pan Africanism because that's what because they're there to teach
Exactly.
European religion. Yeah, so I'm
Well,
not saying that they didn't help, but not that they didn't get people socialized as far as the African
but you're
continent.
talking about where the agenda was, the
Yeah,
prime agenda was.
yeah, yeah.
I say that because my thing is about using infrastructure. I mean, the reality is, I'm like, okay, you get this step because here's the biggest key is getting black people thinking outside of their fucking local constructs as far
Mm,
as they're like hell, even to the extent that they even think about their city, they're not really thinking about the infrastructure and stuff like that until something like bites them in the fucking ass,
mm,
like they really should. But outside of that, they need to be thinking more top down. And see, remember, only 5% of black people have a passport. I've estimated that it's about roughly 650 to 700,000 non-military, non-military ADOS black men that actually have passports.
mm.
Like, and I actually think it's lower than that, to be honest with you. That's how low that number is.
It's
So
because we're not doing a good job of educating these people. Basically, saying that you can go there and fuck and all that kind of stuff is not going to do it. I might actually start playing this stuff. So
yeah, and I'm not blaming Pan Africanists for that, by the way. I'm saying that's an issue with all black people. I only say that with Pan
But you
Africanists
should
as
blame
far as with
Pan
their agenda.
Africanists for it.
we should
We
because
should blame Pan Africanists
they're
for
not
it.
doing their job.
They're the first ones that are trying to do the whole Africa America connection thing,
Well, I'm
and
talking
they
about
won't
for
tell
their
niggas
agenda.
about passports.
Yeah,
Yeah, for their agenda, yes, that's a metric that I would, if I wanted to talk shit, that's a metric that I would typically say, is a metric for their agenda. But I'm talking about overall.
mhm.
That's kind of an L that all black people, have to run. And to be fair, sisters have more passports
No,
than
it's not a L. You
brothers.
know why it's not? It's not a L, bro. It's not a L. You know why? I for example, I grew up in Europe, right? Like having a passport for me was literally like
having the driver's license. You understand me? When I heard that there's people that don't have passports, I would think that that's odd. But then I come to understand that, look, if they are not traveling anywhere, and they don't know much about anywhere, where are they really gonna go?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. When I
It's the
say it's a
cultural
L,
thing.
it's not me talking down. It's more of an area of opportunity, but it
Well,
has to
I'm
be.
going to wrap this up in 10 minutes. This is not a regular hangout, so we don't have 8 hours tonight. So you get so.
Okay, okay. Well, I will say this, and then I'll back off.
Go
I
ahead.
get what you're saying. You're in an environment where I'm in an environment that I can move from state to state. Like we have no regulation like that. But at the same time, even amongst that, like I would argue Hispanics are much more mobile in the United States than like what black people are. They like we tend to, unless it's something that megally makes us move, like gentrification makes Negroes from the north come to the fucking south, or like the Great Migration. For the most part, black people stay put, and the problem is we stay put to the point where they gotta fucking move us, aka gentrify, rather than us move us to opportunity. Obviously, there's percentages it's not doesn't operate like that, so
Yeah,
it's a mentality behind that.
it's human beings. And human beings don't move like that. Human beings actually move because of need, either for opportunity, like when Africans come here, or because where they are is like if there's a war going on, or suppression.
Well, I'm talking about your damn city. I'm talking about your damn neighborhood. I ain't even talking about like the type of move you talking about.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Why do people move
BGS,
to
and I
the
think
city?
also it's regarding the whole passport thing is a cultural thing, because back home it doesn't matter. Anybody that's educated has a passport, whether you're
Yeah,
traveling or not. Just
right.
as okay, someone might not have a car, so you might not need a driving license, but having a passport is seen as you're old, you're not a kid. Why the hell don't you have a passport? It's just like someone telling you he doesn't have a mobile phone.
Well, only
So I
twenty
think it's
percent of
better.
Americans have passports in general. Just to throw that out there too.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
and in Africa, at least anybody that has some education is eager to have a passport, because you want to open a bank account or whatever, because it's not like the national ID card is that important. So mostly they will ask you driving license or passport. So
I
it's
mean, eventually,
it's like an important document to have.
eventually you're going to have to travel the world to learn something different than what you're learning down the street. You
Yeah,
have you
true.
have to do some kind of traveling. So, I mean, I don't know why people try to put all these spins on why people go out and stuff like that. And I get it. People want to find love and all that. But like BGS was saying, you get the experience of education and connecting with your people just by going in other places and dealing with people that look just like you. You learn a
And I
different
think it's
aspect of
very
your
important
heritage.
It's called
for
education.
yeah,
Exactly.
to be honest, I think the advantages of Black Americans traveling outweighs anything else, because even like Africans that are, let's say you're abroad like me, that I grew up like in the Middle East, going
Hmm.
home every summer was like, I was so eager. I just seeing people that look like me helped. Even though where I was living comfortable. Talk less of you guys that are literally being suffocated. That's why many, like I see countless videos of Black Americans and the Caribbeans, in Africa. You see them, you can clearly see in their eyes that that weight is off their shoulder.
Yeah,
They're actually happy. And you know how Black people are. We are the same everywhere. We like to bond and fellowship and whatever. You guys could party all night. Neighbors, instead of bitching and calling the cops on you, might come and join you.
yeah,
Unlike it's in the West,
yeah,
that why are these niggas happy? They just
yeah.
have to suck your energy.
Okay, we got two. We got about 5 more minutes. We got two new folks who want to chime in before I actually cut the stream. It wasn't even supposed to go this long, but and the people that actually were debating in the comment section that never showed up. But, go ahead. It's just 10. We only got about 5 minutes, so if you want to jump in, it's time now. Or proud to be a simp, jump in.
Yeah, this is me again, BGS. You guys, when I tell you guys, I say that respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are giving out some information that you said something that a couple of minutes back you said there's information that you should be given, but you don't. And not because there's any fear of anything like that. A lot of us won't even get or understand what you're saying, because sometimes when Kendra B is talking, if she drops what she drops, I wouldn't say it's simple. It's simple if
What's
you
up
understand it,
tomorrow?
but it caused such a
Oh,
problem.
no, because
Not
she's got no
studying.
bean cell.
As far as
essentially,
Africa is concerned, I'm from England myself. I'm from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of African friends in the UK when I was there. I think what's happening is Black Americans are waking up. I'm not talking about the red pill stuff, which is
Yeah.
very good, but they're waking up and they're using their technology information and they're bridging gaps over there. They're getting access to governments over there. I know that for a fact because I got a couple of people that's doing it now.
Yeah.
So if we bridge, we use our hip hop, if you will, we use our music and we bridge to get natural resource access with governments, and you can do that.
Yeah.
Then a lot of things are going to change. There's people, brothers in America that's doing that now. You might not see it on the news. They might not talk about it, but they're doing it. I'm not talking about a book stand selling books on the table. I'm talking about
real business. Yeah, real business. It's been a long time coming. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on behind the scenes that actually facilitated this. It wasn't just the Chinese. There's a lot of work between Pan-Africanists actually getting the Africans who don't really like leaving the continent actually coming over here and actually recruiting or actually applying for business. Okay, so they actually have started. So basically, this is a flow that has started like 10, 12 years ago, starting to increase, and hopefully it continues because it's time. It's time. Everybody can actually see it now. Before they couldn't see it, but now they can.
Now the reason why it's easier now, and I'm glad you said China. What's going on with the whites? Chinese have no problems going through the jungles. They will walk through jungles to get what they need to get.
Yeah.
White people do not want to walk on the ground, so they use black people to go.
Well, if you read, like I said, that's why I love the book Daughters of the Trade, right? Is because once you read it, you understand why they don't. It's because they get sick and they die. They don't. That's not their climate. They don't survive very well.
Right.
Which is why they had to create mulatto proxies, because they don't survive very well in that climate. It's very, very hostile to their biology. That's like the biggest little whites where in the place where it's most like their own climate, which is South Africa.
Right. So no, go ahead.
No, so you're not going to find whites in most whites actually hacking through the jungle because they're going to get sick and die.
You're absolutely correct. And the beauty of it all is real simple. Is that I don't want to, how can I put it? I don't want to be disrespectful. There's a lot of BGSs out there. I've met one. He sat me down and told me for 15 years. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
And because you're putting this on YouTube, I think somebody said something. It was very good that they said it. People are talking about going overseas to get themselves. And you said, no, that's not what it's about. They're going there. They're trying to learn, or they're trying to connect.
You can connect. Yeah.
And that's the truth. And the propaganda over the years. I remember when I was young, when I first came here to America, and everything about Africa, you get AIDS, the monkeys, this and that. The propaganda. Once you get past all that and you go over there, man, there's cities in Africa, there's houses in Africa that make American houses look like a joke. You got people over there living like friggin' kings.
Yeah. Well, you have both. You got people that live like kings. You got people that are living like they did 100 years ago. So you got both. Who else? Just 10, jump in, man, because I don't have much time. Just 10 and Light B, you got to jump in. I don't have much time.
Oh, what's going on, people? How y'all doing?
Hey, Light Bear, what's up, man?
What's going on? See, I was one of those kids that y'all talking about right now. I joined the military, went straight over there to like Europe. We hit a couple of lands over in the motherland. Literally, the whole experience of hitting the motherland changed my whole mindset. Being able to see the different people, being able to see us and stuff like it really gave me a different perspective on life, period. Once I saw that, oh, wait, I'm not like you said earlier. Oh, like this one of the people said earlier, oh, shit, I don't look like a nigga.
Yeah.
Like, they're not looking at me like that. Matter of fact, truthfully, it was almost like a superhero out there because, like, being a Black American, almost everywhere we went, it was like being like being a rapper.
Yeah, they were fascinated with you. Yeah,
for no reason.
Like Shango says, like Django said, they'd never seen a nigga on a horse before.
Pretty much.
Funny because I got the same reaction.
They saw that New York hat and they saw the Timberlands, and it was over with. It was like, but then also like the other thing was like I want to put together a situation where we're bringing kids like my family owns a boys and girls club,
Mm-hmm.
and what I want to do is, like you were talking about right there, I
Mm-hmm.
put together some sort of um, let's just say a corporation in a way, or something where
Mm-hmm.
it's just like 1 year, 2 years, like either before graduation or right after graduation,
Mm-hmm.
have them leave this place. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for the change of mind that was available from leaving America,
Mm-hmm.
my mindset towards just being a nigga would not have got like pretty much obliterated.
Right.
It's one of those things that it has, like, you have to leave here. The moment you leave here, your whole mind changes.
Which
Definitely.
which is why the United States does not want you to go.
Yep.
That's why they don't want you to go. That's why think they make it so hard.
Yep.
You can fly to China easier than you can fly to the continent.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you'll have a different outlook.
You have a different outlook. Yeah,
Because
which
that's another
which is why they don't want you Negroes that were actually in the military to go over there and be part of Africa for that very reason.
Well, yeah, that was another thing. I was part of another corporation. I don't work for them no more. One of the things was they didn't want us to deploy to one of these spots. They said they don't like us there. I'm like, how the hell they don't like us there? But
Mm-hmm.
then they were like, well, it's for other reasons other than
For the real, I get you. You don't have to say. I get you.
But
I
like, it
get
was like, damn, like I can't even go to these spots I want to go to. Like, I can't choose this deployment.
no.
But then it really boiled down to, because I got dreads and all type. I mean, I got locks and all type of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I got like a presence.
Yeah.
So what I really happened is, whenever they would see somebody like me,
Yeah.
it would really like bolster the people around the area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't understand it until, like, one of my white counterparts actually told me.
Yeah. But the thing is, they and I'm getting the feeling they might be more open to it now, because now before they had the luxury of not doing it. Now they don't have that luxury anymore. And I think that window that they once had, like for like 95, like 2005, 2006, the window that they had it may be closed. Okay, but the thing is, they got to try, because at this point, they have to basically, it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall, see what sticks. And you guys may be their last ace, because really, honestly, truly, the Africans can tell you, they're dealing with the Chinese because they have to, not necessarily because they want to.
Yeah. I kind of like it that way, though.
BJS, can I
I
add
like it
something?
that they're not dealing with that they coming back a little bit more strong, asking for what they should be asking for, and not dealing with the usual powers that we usually deal with.
Well, somebody told me on a good authority that that white supremacist mindset runs deep, and basically it's they whatever it is that they're willing to go down the ship with that white supremacy. They're willing to go down with the ship. I had it on good authority, because I asked a question. He said it's just that simple. Okay, so
but look at what the Queen and them try to do. Look at what the Queen and them.
BJS,
Look
can
at
I
what
add
the Queen
something?
and everything try to do. They try to marry in some blackness so that they can.
They're trying to hold up a symbol to sell it. There's a selling point. Go ahead, Kirky, real quick, man.
Yeah. So like what to add something to what Light B is maybe trying to do. There are a lot of private high schools in Nigeria that maybe the parents are abroad and their kids are turning into these SJW dipshits, so they send them to those ones. So if he's thinking of maybe sending those kids to Africa, he can just look up some of those private boarding schools. Because most parents, like, whether your family is abroad, but then parents send you back, so at least you can learn what it means to be an African. Because most of us that grew up, if our parents didn't have time to raise us properly,
I want it to
us
be
back
tied
home.
into a situation where it could be towards programming.
I ain't gonna be on here for another. I'm supposed to have ended.
Maybe on Saturday then.
Yeah, but go ahead, Light B.
Like, what I really wanted to do is start making it a situation where they go someplace very significant, or just get the hell out of the period. But it'll be more towards teaching them the mathematics of electronics, teaching them programming, teaching them something that'll be like not just a trade, but like something that they can use within the society that we're about to move
Oh,
towards.
oh yeah. There's
Yeah, you can set up camps and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then it could be
try
part of. Go ahead.
try going through the World Economic Forum because they need people like that. And basically, if you go to World Economic Forum, they just had their African Forum, well, just ending.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in South Africa.
yeah. So try
Yeah.
contacting them and see if they can give you some help on actually doing the same thing. Probably can get you in contact with people that actually want that
I
done
will try
because.
look up something for him because there's a journalist that was even saying that she had to go to China to bring
Mhm,
somebody who teach coding to her
mm,
town.
yeah,
So at least they are looking for people to partner with.
yeah,
I'll
to
look up
partner with.
something and if maybe he drop an email or something, I'll try send it to him.
Okay, all right.
Definitely.
You can always send it to me. So and I get you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
in
send it to me.
connection.
I'll send it to his yes.
But anyway, anybody
Gotcha.
got closing thoughts? Because I got to run.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks,
BGS,
BC.
real quick. When you said that they will go down with the ship, that's a fact. And the quick comment is simple. Genetically, they know they don't stand a chance. So
Yeah.
they're just gonna go down with the ship. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Yeah, somebody told me that, man. I was kind of stunned, but he said it, and I had to believe it. I hope that the common sense and reason would actually win out, and maybe with the Europeans it will, not necessarily the Americans. Maybe the Europeans it will, but we'll see.
So
Anyway,
BGS, do we
y'all,
have to
say what?
sorry BGS, do we have to like buy, maybe go on safari to see white people in reservations?
I, hey, from your lips to God's ear, okay? I don't think it'll get that bad, but it might.
Shout
But
out
All
anyway,
to
right,
y'all.
later, BGS. Till I see you on the woman's joint.
All right, all right, y'all.
shout out to
Okay,
the
Hey,
drop.
BGS.
take care,
Last
everybody.
question.
Yeah, okay,
Can
real
you do a
quick.
show? Can you do a show on this one particular thing? Because I got hit with some feminists. I mean, by a couple of feminists. Um, is violence well, you know what? Is violence inconducive, or is it conducive with being a male?
Is it conducive with being a male?
Well,
It, it's it's it's
thing.
it's part of being a male, but violence exists on both sides. Females. The thing is the violence exists in the female realm too. The thing is just guess what? Males are bigger and they do more damage.
So,
But violence is 50-50.
but these people that came at me, they were pretty much watching football, and they didn't understand that football is simulated war.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole thing. I just wanted to do a show on
Oh,
that. I figured you could do it better than me.
so why if it's football, how come 40% or 45% of the fans that sit in the stands are female?
But she couldn't argue that part. She was saying that that's not war. That's not really a thing. They wear pads. I'm like, I wore a helmet and some type of pad when I was out there. But you have guns. Well, yeah, that was the tool of that sport. The same way that the football is the tool of that sport.
Well, so basically, she needs to go back and study her anthropology. In fact, if you, there's a the reason that you have sports teams in the first place, and maybe send me an email. I'll send you a screenshot of the book. Right. Um, the reason that sports teams were actually created back in the early 20th century or in the late 19th, early 20th century is because boys or males naturally form packs, naturally form hunting parties, right? So they didn't want them to form what we call gangs.
Mm-hmm.
So they substitute the gangs or the hunting parties with sports teams. That's why you have it. It's a naturally occurring thing of all males to actually,
Yes.
that's biological to actually form hunting parties because any human male out in the wild cannot survive by himself. He has to form up with his group, with his male group. So it's a natural evolutionary thing for boys or for males to actually form what they call packs or gangs or teams or whatever it is, right? Now it doesn't matter what color you are. That's naturally occurring. White males, black males, Russians, whatever. That's amongst human males. That's a naturally occurring thing. It just is. So basically, basically, sports are just a representation of it. So basically, right, it's just a form of two groups doing battle. That's all it is with each other. So you're right.
That's from a sage. I'm gonna leave it at that.
But send me the email. I actually send you I think I can find it. I actually sent you the screenshot of where they said it in 1912, which is why they implemented sports teams into the educational curriculum.
All right.
Which is why women actually want it, because there's certain characteristics that you get from being part of a sports team. That's why Title IX wanted women to actually be included in that. So the feminists actually see value in it. So I don't know what the other feminists are actually talking about, because the feminists actually push for women to have the same thing that males had. They actually push for women to have sports teams, to actually invoke some of that leadership and cooperation that women don't naturally have. But it is what it
It
is.
was so many layers to it. I'll put it within the email so then you can see what the breakdown was towards the mindset of those people.
Well, bring their asses on, man.
Oh, if I could, I would.
And bring their. Well, they're not gonna come on with me. I know that, man.
All right.
I have them crying.
Thank you so much.
All right, bro. Peace.
Salute.